is the One Piece Podcast, episode 616 for the week of Sunday, April 12th, 2020. My name is Zach.
And my name is Ed.
My name is Steve.
And my name is Alex.
And on today's show, we have very special guest. He's the translator for One Piece and Shonen Jump and Manga Plus. We have Stephen Paul here. How's it going, Stephen?
Hi, it's going well. I'm very excited about this week's chapter.
Yeah, it is a good one. And we have that manga recap plus a very rambunctious piece together coming at you, plus an interview with the localizer for One Piece World Seeker. Her name is Krys. She'll be on a little bit later, and you can check her out on Twitter at Pseudo Machine. But before we get into the episode this week, there won't be a chapter next week. Stephen, I don't know if you happen to have in front of you, or you want to just go through the reasoning as to why Shonen Jump, the entire magazine, will not be here next week.
So they announced that an employee of Shueisha had been staying home with having developed a fever and some other symptoms, and so they were suspected of I don't actually know if they've updated this story to say whether the test came back positive or not, but having suspected of having contracted COVID-19, and so as a precaution, they were going to delay next week's issue and have it be a combined issue the week after, which is complicated a bit by the fact that Golden Week is also coming up, which is a traditional double issue week in the year of Shonen Jump. So it's possible that we may end up with two double, a break next week and then an issue and then a break and then an issue and then a break, something like that. I don't know, though, because this is, of course, kind of an extreme set of circumstances.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised if they do eventually announce, additional measures to delay or otherwise postpone publishing. It's very tricky because while I know that there are lots of authors who do work digitally and have the option of, working remotely if they have the tech and stuff. There are also authors, including Oda, who only work on paper. And, that complicates matters quite a bit in terms of you need people to draw on that paper and assistants and stuff like that. So I'm sure they're all discussing these sort of things behind the scenes, but I think, from our perspective, it's a very open question as to what sort of further, consequences the ongoing situation will have on the publication of Shonen Jump, because I am certain that is not going to be the last, employee of Shueisha who gets sick. Just mathematically speaking, they're kind of just starting in Japan to do all the distancing stuff.
Yeah, and the announcement came out on the 8th, and they said as of the 6th, that's 2 days before this announcement, and I think 4 days after this individual developed a fever, they decided to have a company-wide policy of primarily working from home in order to stop the spread. But we kind of discussed, Stephen, last week about how Japan had kind of skirted past getting that first wave, but they seem to kind of be getting it in the second wave here, and that we might be seeing this kind of thing more. And you actually said it in a pretty prescient way. You didn't have any, obviously, advanced knowledge of this individual getting coronavirus potentially. No. So, I think we, obviously hoping and praying for the best for this individual and for everyone over there in Japan. But, the word has been that Tokyo may look like it is here where I'm recording in New York. Who knows if that's going to be the case, but there is that, not to get too far into the weeds here, but there is that mentality in Japan to, go to work, and here in New York, to go to work no matter what. So I'm curious how that meshes with what's actually gonna start happening there. Obviously, I think Shonen Jump, more than most companies, probably is as you said, a pretty good place to work digitally. I don't know how One Piece is going to be working digitally though. So that's a good question. Yeah. But obviously, send your best wishes over, either mentally or actually send those over to this individual and whoever and everyone there. We'll be thinking about them. And everyone going through hard times during this. Other than that, I do want to mention, speaking of being home, and the coronavirus, we're doing a lot of stuff on Patreon. We did a live episode of Crewing Around, where I got to introduce everyone here to the restaurant the grocery store Stu Leonard's, which I would call a combination of Chuck E. Cheese and Trader Joe's. It's horrifying, and God. You can check that out. Yeah, it's horrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. It's pretty freaking weird looking.
Yeah, just Google it if you're more curious. But we talk about that and a lot more on the latest Crewing Around. We have a lot of special guests for that. We'll be doing a lot of cool stuff on Patreon. If you're not already a subscriber, please join us. Patreon.com/One Piece Podcast. We're going to be hopefully playing Jackbox at some point this week, and we're also the big news. We're going to be doing a live One Piece Stampede commentary for patrons, probably on Sunday, but that time and day may change, so keep an eye out on all the social medias, and particularly on Patreon, and subscribe now if you want to see that. I think that's about it. Do you guys have anything other than that you want to mention?
No.
Nope.
We'll have a double anime recap next week with Sam. So until then, let's get into the manga recap. Are you guys ready?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
This is the manga recap for chapter 977, The Party's Off. You could read this chapter and all chapters of One Piece as soon as they come out in English or Spanish at mangaplus.shueisha.co.jp, or in English, including the entire backlog, for free, shonenjump.viz.com. It's free in both places, it's legal in both places, and it's available worldwide with one of those, with both of those.
You have to pay for the backlog.
You have to pay for the backlog, but this chapter is available free right now around the world. Ed, what's going on the front page here?
Yeah, but no, it's a very touching reunion on the cover of the chapter this week. Lola and Chiffon, the sisters, are reunited. It only took 24 volumes of Oh My Family.
I think it's funny. I mean, going back to the chapter title, it's sort of like if you translated Attack of the Clones into a different language and then retranslated it back to English, and you got to the part where Mace Windu says, "This party's over."
Wow.
Anyway,
all right, I don't even get that.
He's talking about the title. He's talking about
He's talking about Chinese Star Wars subtitles.
Oh, I just thought that maybe like the title of this cover story could have been a little bit different. Like maybe add in some punctuation there, so it's called "Oh, My Family."
Oh, my party.
My family.
Oh, my family.
Lola comes around the corner. Oh, my family.
I do like Gotti's expression here.
I like Pez's expression here. Wondering.
Yeah. I guess I have two mommies.
Wow, he's saying, "Wow, I'm seeing double 4 mommies." So
I'm seeing double 8 titties.
Oh God.
Look, everybody knows babies love a titty. It's come on.
On a more heartfelt note, I was honestly like at least as happy to see this as I was about the Jimbei reveal last week. I was like, oh, it's Lola and Chiffon, and they're meeting again for the first time in years. It's very sweet.
I like the staging of this page and how that Capone and Gotti probably can't see each other here, and might I guess they're just able to see the second one on each side here.
So what? So when Beige walks around the corner, he's gonna see God and be like, "Oh, my family."
Any other thoughts?
I want the dialogue for the rest of this cover story just to be everyone saying variations of "Oh, my family."
I mean, I'm sure when Pound shows up again, he will have to say it too.
Oh, my family.
I kind of hope we get to see Bedge's mom, and she looks exactly like Bedge, but with longer hair. She even has like the lip stubble.
Oh,
that lip stubble is passed from generation to generation.
Well, there's
this
episode of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, where in the beginning, the live action segment, Luigi and Mario's mother comes to town, and Lou Albano plays Mario's mother. And it's the funniest shit I've ever seen. It's so good. And she's like whacking him with a rolling pin and stuff. It's really wonderful.
Hey, paisanos, it's the Capone family show. Oh, no.
The Capone family super show.
Captain Lou Albano as Capone. That'd be great.
All right.
Capone Lou Albano.
Steven's like, I'm putting the kibosh on this. Ed, what's going on in the first page?
Sure, we get a Jimbei, and the Sunny is jumping for joy in the waters outside of Wano. All the other ships remain, on the ground or water, as it were. But everyone gives him a big hug. It's a cute scene. And Luffy's like, "We're so worried about you, man." And Jimbei's like, "Sorry about that. We got busy tending to the Sun Pirates wounded and having a big send off." And Usopp's excited about having a former warlord of the sea on their crew. What a morale boost is it's kind of an odd thing to say, but like I guess things have been looking pretty well down for them in the last.
I love how Chopper is just that piece of armor, like he looks like an Atlas beetle, just like clung to Jimbei there.
I like how. I just like how wholesome this is. Like I'm surprised Jimbei didn't walk in there. It's like I'm sorry, Luffy, but I can't join your crew unless you give me a big hug first.
Oh my god!
And Sanji is also jealous that Nami and Carrot are
By the way, Carrot
Jimbei a big glomp.
He wanted to glomp them, or he wanted to glomp Jimbei.
So if you glomp Jimbei, does that make you an official member?
I want to hit Jimbei with my yaoi paddle.
Jimbei's definitely got the pose where he needs to have like a sixer in his hands. He showed up to the party. He brought the beer.
Yeah. So as I said before, so does this make Carrot an official member since she glomped Jimbei? Is that how that works?
No, she's a mink. They guard you, everyone.
Oh, that's true too.
Now that Jinbei is officially part of the crew, I have no qualms with Carrot joining. I'm just like, yep, okay, yeah, bring on more people. But like Jinbei is the one that I just lock him in.
Yeah,
lock him in and load him in.
He was holding the gates back. He was the dam holding back the straw hat water.
At this point, just bring on the tree from Thriller Bark.
Wait. You're going to bring on the tree from Thriller Bark before King Baum and his wife?
Baum. I thought that's what he was talking about first.
Yeah. King Baum and his treeance. Are we forgetting about them?
Some loser tree who just sits around and drinks all the time.
Yeah. You want an active tree.
Okay. I wasn't remembering whether or not Luffy wanted King Baum to join. I wasn't sure if I was getting that mixed up with Thriller Bark, so I want the Thriller Bark tree to be safe. Why are you jumping on me
guys, screw the whole crew. Luffy should start from scratch and only recruit talking trees. I think that's the route.
Screw the Straw Hats. I think the main cast should be Law, Ace, and Sabo.
Okay. Ed, on that note, we were doing this chapter at some point here.
So Nami tells Frankie that you won't believe Jinbei's steering skills, and he says, "So we finally got a guy who can make full use of the ship of dreams, huh?" And Chopper notes that he was surfing on the waves with the Sunny, and Jinbei's happy to be there with all of them. And Frankie gets like sparkly, like his cheeks are rosy and he's all smiley. He's like, "Shall we make a toast?" And everyone's happy, and they're like, "Oh, let's do it." But there isn't any alcohol.
Party time. It's party time, and Frankie is just happy about that. Also, look at Jimbei's happy face there. Doesn't he look happy?
Frankie's totally your friend at the bar that says, "We doing shots?"
He just comes in from off screen, like up close into the camera. He sidles in. Yeah, but Zoro smells booze, and they don't say where from, but that's dropped because Kinemon yells, "Hey, Sir Luffy!" And he says, I want to be sure we know what we're doing on the island. And Law says, I forget it, kid. It's a waste of time trying to set up a plan for them. So, yeah. And notices that Shishilian has hopped into the scene, and we move on to the next page.
Yeah. Also, you see there in the corner, Zoro's like, it's from over there. I smell it from over there.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what that was. That was confusing.
Yeah. What do you smell, boy? Is it the booze? You smell the booze, boy?
Go get it.
Go get it. Go get it, boy. Go get the booze.
Just like one of those, like one of those Saint Bernards, just like dressed as Zoro with the booze around their neck.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But on the next page, we get some delegation of duties here because Shishilian, who is the captain of Dogstorm's Musketeers, wants to know what the plan is because, of course, he is he's kind of like foisting this off on Dogstorm, like, you're one of the vassals, you're one of the Akazaya, you have to go with them. Leave the minks up to me. I'll be in charge here. So he's being his usual overbearing self. And Dogstorm agrees, yes, I need your help. And meanwhile, Hyoguro, not just content being the boss of the Yakuza in Wano, would like to assume control over all the samurai of Wano. That way you can relax and focus on your battle, which is kind of a weird way of putting that. Just relax, focus on your battle. But so he will be commanding the nameless samurai grunts, and so they're all agreed. Let's get to work. And Kinemon's like, indeed, yes, very good. Let's get to work. And Law is pissed. He's like, what? I told you this ship is not your garrison. What are you still doing here? But then they continue explaining the plan. He continues to explain the plan as we get a big diagram, still very cutesy looking, of Onigashima. It is an island surrounded by mountains. The only way in is through the front gate. And we see that there is indeed, like where the mouth of the skull is, there's a little inlet, a little lake on the inside with a way inside. And he says the large skull that looms over the island is part of the mountain range, and the castle is inside of it. According to the mansion plans we acquired, there is a rear gate around the back of the castle. So
by the way, not to cut in here, but have we discussed how the skull could totally be an Or's skull? Because
yes, you mentioned it. Yeah, okay. Probably the first time we saw it, but maybe not since then. Yeah.
I think this diagram, it looks, I mean, obviously in a more cartoony way, but more like that than most. But go ahead.
Yeah. What if it's like a skeleton buried in the ground? That'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, it would be like a little garden or something. Yeah.
Yeah. We can see, although there's not a lot of detail on the like the mountains and such, you can see that thanks to these helpful arrows that you get in the front way, and then there's apparently these paths that go around the side up the mountains to the back of the skull, and that's where the rear gate is. And Kinemon says, so we will split the forces in two, taking both mountain paths on left and right, then infiltrate through the rear gate and launch a surprise attack on Kaido as he is intoxicated from the feast. That's the big plan. Denjiro picks it up. I see, yes, and that was the plan you revealed in Kanjuro's presence to deceive him. So, what is the real plan? And you just get this amazing, like campfire, like flashlight under the face expression from Kinemon here as he goes, oh, it's a gong sound effect, and Raizo looming over his shoulder, saying he's overestimated you again.
Raizo is maybe one of the stars of this chapter.
He's not going to let any opportunity to belittle Kinemon pass or to taunt him. It's pretty great.
He finally has like a gimmick in this chapter.
Yeah.
So,
which is funny since he's supposed to be the straight face, but his face is the most ridiculous of all of them. Steve, go ahead.
So we move on to the next page, and Law says, "I'll seek to crush are the Akazai Knight and Samurai." Sorry, I said way too much. But plus the 3 captains, me, Straw Hat, and Eustace, and everyone's like, "Indeed." Mm-hmm. Everyone's sitting very. This is very Yakuza-esque of everyone just sitting in a row with crisscross. Applesauce with their arms crossed. This is very similar. If you remember, I think the first time we see Marine HQ, I think when Luffy gets his bounty, we see a lot of Navy men doing the same thing. Also because it's very Japanese influenced. But and someone said, I think this is so wise. Says no matter what kind of plan you put together, I could think of approximately 2 idiots who will charge in straightforward. Regardless, as idiots. He's like, yes, those idiots will be useful diversions. So as you see on my trusty little map here, we should send everyone down the side paths as originally planned. However, those soldiers are also a diversion. As you can see on the map, we're going by Broadway rules here. We're doing stage left and stage right. Don't get those confused. We all learned this in music class. I'm guessing this is a mistake, Stephen.
Yeah. No, that's just
fix it in post.
Yeah, I love the idiots arrow in the middle though. That's the part.
Which I totally missed the first time because like we see this map so much in this chapter. I think I just kept like I'm like, all right, yeah, I've seen this before. I never picked up on the idiots thing till I was checking Twitter. Hyogoro says, but of course, we're prepared to fight in such a way that Kinemon's group can make it to the true decisive battle. And then Shishilian is like, but how will the Akazai 9 proceed? And Law's like, get this, the sea. If we take my yellow submarine past the campy painting of Queen Victoria, it's like go around the back. We can avoid the whirlpools.
Past the blue meanies.
We could avoid the whirlpools that keep ships at bay. I could use my power to send you onto the island. And Kinemon says like, that'd be most appreciated. Danke, Sir Law. But at the very least, I must be there to lead the troops. And Denjiro says like, yeah, that's a good point. We should have one of us for each path. I will take the other side of the mountains. You send the rest of them in. And Ashura says, got it. So the rest of us will be together and use our full strength against Kaido. And Kinemon's just like, yes, perfect. According to Kikaku, just as I planned. We'll go with this strategy. And Denjiro continues to be a huge mark for Kinemon. It's like, well done, Kin. You're so thoughtful and thorough and thoughtful. and once again, Raizo finally, he's picked up a gimmick of just
frowning,
lemon facing, frowning and downplaying Kinemon's, just Kinemon's
Zach,
like intuition.
Zach likes to say characters are doing a fault face. That's an Oigavault face.
That's the face I do when Steve opens his mouth.
Wow.
I didn't mean it like that. Jeez. Steve, there's one other thing happening.
That's the face I make when Zach says weird things like that. But Lost is like, it's like, wait a tick, I don't see the Straw Hat's ship.
Ed. Or Alex, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's an explosion over there by the Torii, and we hear, huh? And here's a great panel of all the samurai ships in the maelstrom. An explosion in the mist? Was that Sir Luffy's voice? And Dendria says, curses! I didn't warn them about the gate, the guards at the Torii gate. Dendro explains for the uninitiated, the Torii in front of the island is a small fortress. Many of their soldiers are busy having a party there during the fire festival. If they receive word about our raid, and everybody else starts to get it, oh no, then we'll be sitting ducks, Sir Luffy! And we see an explosion and some shipwood, or what seems to be shipwood, some debris. And like, no, was that them? And we start to get acid flashbacks of the end of Whole Cake Island for half a second. Until Kinema notices that, hey, there's Luffy, and he is punching a gigantic oars-looking creature in the face. And here's Jinbei punching yeah, but he got horns. Maybe, perhaps, yeah, he got horns. And it's Jinbei punching another crony in the face. And, of course, Kinemon, at this point, he shouldn't be super surprised about this kind of thing, but he is. And there's Zoro punching with his swords that guy in the belly. This begins our I was gonna say double page spread, but unfortunately the page count didn't work out too well this time for that. But it's nice to see all the Straw Hats together fighting, including
apparently Kinemon's got some eagle eyes if he's seeing like close-up versions of them fighting from the distance.
Oh, could it be observation?
They call him Eagle Eye Firefox Kinemon. It's a mouthful, but
two animals.
Well, as you see, Stephen, Wano being the Mary Sue of the One Piece universe, the people of Wano have lots and lots of powers, including really good eyesight.
That is true. Yeah.
Steve, what's next?
And Brook freezes a guy with that freezing attack he does. It's been so long since I've seen Brook fight. I forget all his attack names. Robin fights.
Feet.
That's the headline.
Oh,
this episode gets directed by Quentin Tarantino.
No, that's him. She just squashed him under the.
That's the thing about manga. Okay, it's a commentary on life. And,
making that Viso face right now. Go ahead.
So she squashes the Quentin Tarantino of the which I can only assume is a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Sanji just having a thought like, oh yeah, I'm the cool one, kicks a guy as he has this thought. I gotta say, like, this is actually kind of very like it's very different for Sanji because he normally doesn't like kind of just embrace this like, you know, it's like look how like suave I am as I do this. Like he's usually pretty focused in his fighting, so I'm not taking this jobber very seriously. Neither is Sanji.
He's trying to impress Nami here, I assume.
He's just enjoying the smooth flavor of Death Brand cigarettes. That's all.
This is what his fight would have been like in Fishman Island if he hadn't, had gotten that nosebleed.
Yeah, probably. Sure. Or if he wasn't like put into a tag team with Jimbei.
Right.
He's like, no, I want a singles run. And Frankie just like Dragon Ball Z crater punches a guy. And the Weakling Trio reunited at last. Watch from afar.
This is a very funny chapter. This is a very funny chapter.
Like this panel is great, not just because they're hiding, but I'm just imagining all the like you ever download like stock fighting sound effects, like the one where just the guy goes like and you hear like the bottle break. And that's what I'm hearing when I look at this chapter. It's just hearing that guy getting punched, a bottle break. And all that.
The Wilhelm scream, that one, like in the back.
Yeah,
that's what it's called.
Like
right?
Just
I think the secret of that panel too is that it's the serious expressions with the fingers right in front of their face to just like emphasize how like timid they're being. It's so funny.
But as I pointed out on Twitter today, as much as Usopp right after the beginning of the time skip was like, oh no, I'm not part of the Weakling Trio anymore. You rip off the T-shirt. And you see he's still wearing a new Weekling Order shirt. You know, he's part of the trio for life.
Oh my god.
And then Usopp's like, all right, well done, everybody. And now he's like, yeah, looking good. And Chopper's like, it's a nice start.
This panel is super cool looking.
Yeah,
I think I missed it. It's so ominous and cool. I love that.
I love the hatching on the Onigashima skull, and all the Wano waves. It's great. As the rest of the Allied forces just look on, just gritting teeth, or they're like, God damn. But we're at the front gate, and it's like, as they look, it's like, oh, what's with this Torii gate? There's so many guns on it. It's like if they aim all those cannons. I see. It's more like they're tense, because they say, like, if they aim all those cannons at us, we won't stand a chance. And Luffy notices this with
Red.
Luffy is standing on top of the wreckage. He's like, "Hey, Kinemon, we found the bad guys." Yeah. But so Sanji's like, "Hey, Ma said, where'd you find that?" And I told you those guys were drinking over here. Yeah. Look how happy he is. He got the booze.
It looks like a well bucket, though. Like, do they have a well full of sake? It's kind of weird.
It looks like what the sumos drink out. They drink the special water before they go into the ring. Mm. It's got the hand. It's got the water handle thing.
It's Zoro's on the booze.
Yeah. So Denjiro is astonished. The Torii guards have been wiped out. This was the first big challenge we were going to face. Kinemon and Raizo are also shocked. So, but to the Straw Hats, the more important thing, Luffy says, "All right, gang, now that we've got mugs, let's raise a toast to Jimbei joining the..." And cut off. So, yeah, they say, "We appreciate this, Sir Luffy. Your speedy charge has cleared the checkpoint for us to pass." And so the toast is interrupted. Kinemon says, "All ships onward to Onigashima." And that Straw Hat crew is a good group to have on our side. So for now, speed is of the essence. Don't give the enemy time to prepare. And a bunch of nameless goons charge in.
I think we'd be remiss if we didn't discuss how awesome this 2-page spread is in slightly more depth, because it's awesome. I don't know if there's anything else you guys wanted to... I just wanted to point out that it was kick-ass.
I like the insinuations that some people have been pointing out that, like, Zoro apparently has an extremely keen nose for alcohol, as we've learned here. So maybe, like, that's part of his directional issues, is that he's just following his nose to wherever the booze is, and he can't tell directions any other way.
Yes.
Maybe because he somehow immediately got there, found the booze, and came back, which for Zoro is some sort of miracle. This guy looks a lot more Orzy when you look at him here, and also huge.
I wonder if
he looks bigger in this one.
Yeah. Stephen, what?
I wonder if this is one of the numbers.
Yeah, I wondered that too.
Because we haven't seen anyone that big yet before.
And anyway, yes, Stephen.
Yeah, on the next page, Luffy decides, you know what? Forget it. And he goes, and throws his mug on the ground. Let's do it with them. The party, the toast, everything. Once we beat Kaido, and Orochi, and Big Mom, and everyone. So he's realizing, oh, wait, we're not supposed to be partying. We're in the middle of a gigantic war battle that is just getting started. Let's win this fight, and then we'll have the biggest and best party yet, he says. With just a great delight, a huge smile on his face. And Zoro looks like he used that smile app, the face the face app that puts a fake smile on your face, because he looks very creepy. And Frankie's excited too. And then the whole gang, they do like the freeze frame in the anime opening, where they're all jumping in the air like, yeah, you're on, woo! I bet the booze will taste better than ever. So they are willing to put it off. The party is off, as the title said. But meanwhile, a rival voice says, "Move it, small fry," and we see, of course, that this is Kid, who is determined not to fall behind.
Steve, I for some reason here I'm thinking of Roger Klotz's voice for Kid. I don't
look
know
at me.
Why. No, or Alex.
Move it, funny.
There you go.
Was it Luffy? More like Goofy. What a goof!
What a dweeb.
God. Sorry, Steven. Sorry.
So he says, "We're not letting anyone else take Kaido's head. Ain't that right, Killer?" And of course, Killer, who is under the effect of the smile fruit, goes, "Fwah, fwah, fwah." Yeah. And then the crew is, they're like, little ducklings that have imprinted on Killer. They all going, "Fwah, fwah, fwah, fwah," and copying him. And then we get a wide shot of Kid's ship where he is standing, much like Luffy. He's just standing in the special seat right on the top of the head of the skull in this case.
That ship is so damn awesome. That ship's the coolest part about Kid.
I love this ship. Yeah,
pretty great.
The Jurassic Ark.
Yes, Jurassic Ark. And he says, he's taunting Kaido now. "I'll cut off your head and place it on our ship's prow." And the crew continues, "Fwah, fwah, fwah. That's right. You're going to pay for turning our Killer all cheery. Now we have to be one of those cheerful pirate crews." And he's like embarrassed. He's like, "Stop it." He's like, it's almost like a cough. Like he just can't help it. And they're going, "Fwah, fwah, fwah, fwah." So
if there's one crew that's going to haze their members, it makes sense that it's Kids. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Kid, I was going to say, Kid is very anti-singing and dancing.
Yes. No singing, no dancing.
Yeah.
Just death metal. Just death screaming.
And Luffy is pissed because, of course, they're sailing right past. So he's like, "Damn it! Why is he having all the fun?" Luffy's mad that they're so having so much fun over there and laughing. "Jimbei, don't let Jackie's ship get there first." And we see Jimbei has parked himself right down on a cushy seat in front of the ship's wheel. "Wow, you got it. Leave this to me," as his pet Pomeranian watches on from behind the railing.
Jimbei's doing the work from home thing we're all doing now, where when you're on Zoom or something and your pet just crawls up on you. It's like, get away. Get away, Chopper.
I'm trying to work.
That you were inferring that Jinbei was Walter Sobchak from Big Lebowski.
I mean, he's got the build for it. So.
Yeah.
He's got the robe for it.
So
this dog has papers.
We move away from the Sunny and go to Onigashima in the skull, I assume. And there's a stompa-tromping happening, and the lightning and thunder's going on in the background. And we see here what I could only assume is one of the numbers, where someone is saying, "Hey, don't you?" That's the Wisconsin member of the numbers. "Hey, don't you know that how to hold a barrel in your hands?" That's how I read that. I'm sorry, Stephen. I know that's not where you were going for.
It's ruined me now. Hey, are those my nachos?
This is why I hate drinking with you guys. So you guys, I assume, means the number. And we got a Juki Kiki, which I guess is a laugh from someone there. It's a new one.
It's that dragony thing, whatever it is.
And we got
he's wearing a Gestures hat or something.
We got the Biwa or Shamisen player here. I doubt it's still Komurasaki since she was murdered in this week's anime episode. Anyway, so they're babanging, and here comes just the worst human being on the face of the earth, Orochi, trying to grope someone. We don't know who, but I assume the Shamisen player. And on the next side of the page here, we have Queen, Precious Queen here, saying, "Hey, we don't have enough Oshiruko over here." Remember, Queen isn't the only one who likes Oshiruko, but Big Mom also is a big fan of that stuff. So that's the same exact thing the guard reminds Queen of, and he's like, "Then get cooking, you idiot!" And he knocks him to the ground, I guess, because that'll get him cooking quicker or something. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, is that his dance? That's his dance.
It might be doing his funky dance.
That's his funky dance, which is like a dab, but it's cooler. And here is Kaido, and he is drunk like a Rick Sanchez level drunk. But I can't do a burp on command, but he does, and he says, "Hey, where is he?" And someone else says, "Sir?" It's like, "Where is my son? He should be making an appearance. It's a feast." And this random flunky, I assume, says, "I'll look for him." We'll get back to that in a moment. But first, all 6 of the Toby Ropo are present. And this flunky asks if they should bring them in. And he says, "Good idea. Better introduce them to Linlin. Where has she gone?" And the random guy says, "Oh, well, Big Mom is busy changing into her kimono, sir." This, for some reason, shocks the hell out of Kaido. Don't know why. But anyway, you see here in silhouette form, I almost like the previous page silhouette with the numbers, with the what's the type of paper wall again? Shoji paper. So like behind the shoji paper, I really like how this is lit, backlit here. And we see Big Mom looking maniacal, her eyes, white in the silhouette, and at least 4 to 5 women dressing Big Mom up. And then on the bottom, I really love this layout. It's very different from anything I feel like we've seen. Just the feet of the Toby Ropo has arrived, and it looks like Drake is, of course, amongst them, and the rest all look pretty unfamiliar to me, and they are being sent in.
One appears to be one is wearing high heels, so possibly
right. So at least one woman or someone who dresses as such.
Speaking of Quentin Tarantino, right?
Yeah. So yeah, this would be his favorite chapter.
Dogs,
yeah. Oh God, it is a little like.
It kind of reminds me of that spread at the like when you first are introduced to Doflamingo and Kuma, and they're walking towards Marie-Joie.
Except more than just the lower third there.
Yeah, which leads me to believe that we might have seen some of these people before, maybe.
Maybe. And to be fair, Oda is a big Tarantino fan. From I think he's talked about before in interviews and stuff. Anyway,
I wonder which one of these is page 1.
One of them has to be. Well, have we seen him in his human form? I don't think we've seen him in his full human form, right?
It could be him. I'm guessing it's not the person in front, so I'm guessing page 1 is behind Drake.
Yeah,
the person in front has
Drake in the back.
The person in front has a sword, so that's
Yeah. One is wearing Geta and the other is wearing high heels. So
yeah, and then there's a couple other random people in the back there. Anyway, that's it for the chapter. Steven, what did you think?
Oh man, I feel like this chapter didn't really have it. It doesn't have a like spoilable reveal that you could quote in 3 or 4 words. Like I feel like the last several chapters have had. There really isn't anything to like shocker, reveal, spoil about it, but it feels like it's still just as good. I mean, honestly, it's like being a One Piece fan right now over this last month or two. It's sort of like that. There's a famous Arnold Schwarzenegger quote about how it feels to pump iron. That I know Ed has quoted it before, but. Yeah, it's just great. It's so much fun to see all this stuff going on. The Straw Hats in action is it's exhilarating to see. It's a nice way to show them off looking awesome and like getting the reaction from the other like members of this little alliance being like, oh my God, those guys are crazy. Like it's just fun to see that sort of stuff happen without it being like an important challenge, because obviously this is just like the very first step of the raid, and the big challenges will be up ahead. But it's kind of interesting. I like that we're getting details about Onigashima now and just kind of what this whole operation is going to look like. The last spread was, I think, a very clever way, like the way that Oda, all of the characters, kind of similar to how Kid, Law, and Luffy were introduced at the start of this sequence. He just kind of has these really close-ups to avoid showing too much of Onigashima, and also just to kind of let you know that this is just like a really quick montage of what's going on before we get a better glimpse of like what this whole, palace looks like, since we haven't really gotten there yet. I guess the only thing that I would say, and it's almost like when I kind of looked back on this chapter and was like, oh yeah, I will say that last chapter I said something about like, well, I wonder what Jinbei's like answer is for why he was too late. I hope it's a good one. And then it turned out the answer was, oh yeah, well, we had to tend to the wounded, and we had to say goodbye. Just whatever. Like, it didn't seem like there was really much of an answer at all, which I do think is a little disappointing. But I guess it shows what a sucker I am, that I barely even thought about that at all, because the chapter was so much fun regardless. So yeah, I guess I still feel like that the reason for Jinbei's delay felt very artificial. But hey, I'm just glad he's here.
Steve, what did you think?
Yeah, I feel the same way. This was just more of like a really fun chapter. And I'm not necessarily disappointed about Jimbei saying like, "Hey, I had to tend to my people." You never know the way One Piece is sometimes. When all this is over, Jimbei can be like, "Oh yeah, so I have this poneglyph here." It's I think we don't want to. I don't think we want to jump into too much exposition. And here's an explanation for this while we're right about to go into a battle. It would be like a really long tutorial right before the fight. No, okay, come on. We just want to fight already. So I'll hold off on that judgment for now. I'm just thinking very like end of Fishman Island, where we just got a ton of exposition. I'm like, okay, this is what the world is like 2 years later. So I'll hold out for Jimbei having some other stuff to reveal. I think I'm the only one that thought this. In the first spread, the panel of Shishilian jumping in, my gut reaction was, oh no, do we have another traitor? Because it just felt so random.
I didn't get that feeling.
He's like, you know what? I'm bored, and like just like stabs Law. Wild card, bitch. I just had that thought, but the Kinemon gag continues to slay, and I like Raizo being his foil. I like seeing the Straw Hats beat up a bunch of goons, and I like Jimbei being a part of it too. I really like Zoro's scent for booze. It's just what I like about One Piece. It's just the action, the comedy, the characters, and like the adventure. And the ending is really cool. Can't help but get like a little bit of like Enies Lobby, like CP9 feels from it. I'm like, oh, we got to get some really cool matchups here with the Toby Roppo, with the Straw Hats, or maybe Nakazaya 9. Who knows for sure. I really love a lot of the panels with just Onigashima Island, which is the skull. Even on that last page, it looks great. And yeah, what's the deal with this sun here? Could this possibly be?
Yeah, what's up with that?
A love child between Kaido and Big Mom.
I not to blow up Brian's spot, because I know he submitted this to piece together, but it's too good not to talk about here. He suggested that it might be a poo.
Oh,
yeah, we haven't seen him yet, but we've heard him a couple times.
Huh. Yeah, I was thinking about Apu recently too. I'm like, for such a big deal about how he's actually been allied with Kaido this entire time. We've barely seen him in this arc. That was the first time we saw him when he was leading in the numbers. Oh, that'll be great.
We've had no sense that like Kaido doesn't like talk about his family members. He talks about his crew, like these groups of people like the Toby Roppo and King and Queen and Jack, the gifters, the pleasures. But he doesn't actually talk about like having a family, which is weird.
So who is it?
With so many people.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. Like, also, how old is Kaido? Like, he's like in his 60s?
We know the answer to that. I just don't know it off the top of my head. I'll look. But I mean, the question is, do you think it's a character we've met before or not? I'm leaning toward met, in the past, but
kind of hope so, because otherwise it would just get like complicated.
Oh, another new character. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, it fits. It fits. All right, I guess it doesn't say here his age, at least in the One Piece wiki. He was born on May 1st, though, so there's that,
I do tend to assume he's just about the same age as Big Mom, but there's no real backing behind that.
Yeah. Alex, your thoughts on this chapter?
Loved it. That was really great. We got to see our pals together again, kicking ass. It sort of felt like an older One Piece chapter where the quote-unquote reveals aren't fully formed. Like any sort of reveal, like, Kaido has a son apparently. Okay, but there's so much that's obscured through text bubbles and stuff like that. And then we see the Toby Roppo's feet and nothing else. The silhouettes of the numbers, so we still don't get to see that completely. Unless that's not a number and perhaps one of somebody turned into a dinosaur zoan. But we see so much that we kind of missed over the past few arcs, I think, just because of the pace and scale of the last two arcs. We don't really get to see the Straw Hats powering around together, and we sort of get to see that in this. We get to see Luffy's Leroy Jenkinsness being used once again as a tactic, which I can't not love. And God, so much action, and it's the little stuff, right? Like the Zoro being able to smell alcohol. Like we're still finding out little things about our crew members, and the weakling trio is still a weakling trio, and I don't know, it sort of feels like a return to form a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I like too that Law, just in terms of characters living up to their style, that Law is the voice of experience, saying like, "Oh, trust me, like don't bother telling them a plan. They're not going to listen to you about them." When he's talking to Kinemon, that's great.
Yeah.
Ed, it's your Sorry, I forgot her. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's also kind of reflected in the writing, but this is such a joyful, happy chapter with all of the Straw Hats, literally all of them, in one group together, having fun and like wrecking stuff up. And it's such a change from the last 6 months of the manga, at least the last 3 or 4 months, where it's been weight of history and very epic, and also at times dour and sad, and like things turning on him. But the story is sort of turned in the hero's favor again, and all the Straw Hats are together, and they get to have fun. They get to have fun together, and all that stuff that you guys were talking about, like just getting to hug Jimbei, and like that face that Frankie makes when he wants to make a toast. Like it's just, but yeah, everyone gets to be a little quirky this chapter. Everyone gets to have fun. Like even like the Raizo and Kinemon stuff, that's fun, and it's really yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That's about all I got to say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton to add other than it's just fun seeing the Straw Hats together, and that especially after the drought, with the flashback, and I mean, we haven't had this whole crew really even together, including Jimbei, since Fishman Island. So it's a big deal. And one of my big qualms with One Piece generally is that these characters all are, and I think Oda does a good job conveying it, but these characters all are supposed to have this really tight bond, but all they do is fight, which I guess is one way to get close to each other, but they're just through strife so often that they don't really get to ever have fun. Here they're kind of doing both, and I enjoyed it a lot. I think as a fan, any moment you get to see the Straw Hats have that moment of connection with each other is like a true spark in the series that's really just great to see. And yeah, go ahead.
Holy Steve. Hell! Not to cut you off, Zach, but this is it. This is the first chapter where we have the entire crew all together. Mm-hmm. Like this is it's like official now, because like Jimbei is now, like, he has jumped on the boat. While it's not official yet, everyone's together now, and it's the first time we've had this since I guess, Fishman Island,
yeah. And even Punk Hazard without Jimbei, or the very end of the very beginning of Dressrosa. No, it's great to see. It's heartening to see. It's fun to see, and that's the reason why everyone wants to drink. Let's have some fun. I just saw a friend of the show, Nate, tweet that Luffy's line is what we'll all be planning after the quarantine. Like let's win this one and then have the biggest party ever.
Yeah, that's so Luffy. I feel like we haven't gotten to do that a lot like lately.
No, and that's one of the reasons I do love this chapter. This chapter is especially as like a long time fan who's in his mid 30s now, it's like one of the reasons I love One Piece, and is just to see the crew together happy. And we don't see this as often as we used to in the pre-time skip, and I think that's one of the things that's kind of soured us on some of the aspects of the post-time skip One Piece. But they're back, baby, and that's what matters. So I'm super happy. I'm pumped. Any other thoughts? I mean, like, I don't even like know where to start theorizing about Kaido's son. And I don't even like know what string to pull there to figure out what's going on.
I'm sorry, Steven, did you say like Brian was did he call it? Okay.
That's what Brian
I agree with Brian. I think
what did Brian say? Sorry, I missed that.
He just predicted it was Apu.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I did see that. Yeah.
Oh, that his son is Apu?
It's yeah.
Maybe not like biologically.
I thought you meant like one of his the Toby Ropo. He was one of the Toby Ropo. But I don't know, because what would Apu call him, Kaido-san? I guess if they have a fucked up relationship, but
yeah. I call him sir.
Yeah.
We have so many what's the word for it? Like non-blood related brothers, siblings, and in this series, it'd be nice for a change to say like, oh hey, they're actually related, and not just being like, oh my god, like it's not like the I am your father, like not as cliche that to be like, oh yeah, he's my son. It doesn't feel as corny as if it's coming the other way. I don't know how to say it. Like if. That's it. Like it's not like used as this big shocker. I'm like, oh yeah, that's my son.
Right. But also, I was looking.
I'm trying to use my words.
I was looking at the last page in the Toby Ropo's feed, and I was looking at what shoes Apu wears. So it doesn't look like he's one of the Toby Ropo, because there's nobody wearing his like Chinese slippers that he wears.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the only evidence I have.
Maybe Apu is just like the beloved child of Kaido and like a clarinet or something. I don't know.
That would explain a lot.
Kaido fucked the piano.
Well, all that piano wire, I mean, maybe he was trying to kill himself and then he accidentally had a son.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh wow, that took a dark turn.
That's how he got turned on to auto erotic asphyxiation.
Auto-tune erotic asphyxiation.
I'm not writing that one down. I'm not writing that down.
Okay.
So yeah, the next chapter. I've already said what. It was a very good chapter, a very enjoyable chapter. I think I said my piece. The next chapter is coming out on April 26th. And we'll be back next week to talk about volume 96. But yeah, that's it for the manga. Ready to get into the next segment?
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey everyone, we are here with the localizer for One Piece Woman. Do you want to, give us kind of background, tell everyone about you and your generally what you do?
Yeah, certainly. So my name is Krys. I'm from New York City. Localizing is actually my kind of part-time gig. I work in a university full-time. It's something I just kind of stumbled into, and it's sort of like a get to know people networking kind of business. So I've just been really lucky running into the right people and just building my portfolio that way. And just it's been great. And yeah, as far as One Piece is concerned, I'm actually a new fan of the series. I only started last year, watching through the entire thing and reading the manga. So, yeah.
How was that experience?
It's been awesome. All the fans have been super nice. My partner, Megan, who people kind of know on Twitter, she's been into it like for forever. And so one day it was just like, you know what, let's just sit down and watch, a couple episodes. And I was like, yeah, like I was there for like the 4Kids stuff, like whatever, let's just see what it is. And so I got hooked pretty fast. So
that's good work from your partner there. Kind of roping you into it.
Like, and at what point did you switch from watching anime to like sort of reading the manga to get it in faster?
Yeah, I mean it's actually harder to read the manga for me because I'm usually at home multitasking, and so just having it on TV is just easier to kind of be able to do a lot of things at once. But I think around Water 7 is when we really started just trying to read more because it's my favorite arc, and it was very much of a like, I need to see this in other mediums. So yeah.
Right on.
We have our resident video game experts here as well, Joe and Sam. Do you guys want to throw some questions Chris's way?
I wish I had prepared better.
That's my fault.
I kind of got roped in at the last second here.
Okay.
Go ahead, Joe.
So like, how did you get how did you get to work on the game?
So it's actually a really funny story. I had a project manager for when I worked on Phantasy Star Online 2. And so I knew him through that. And so we wrapped on that, and it was maybe 2 or 3 months later, and he randomly messaged me on Discord and was like, hey, you talk about One Piece a lot on Twitter. Like, you know a lot of things. Can you help us with the end of with DLC? And I was like, heck yeah, I can. So yeah, it was sort of like they were kind of crunching the end of Lost DLC, and I was able to help them wrap that. So it was very much like a stars aligning, dream come true kind of situation.
That's really cool. I love how this new wave of people working just like big fan of something on Twitter. Oh, why aren't you do the thing?
It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where like, like I grew up like on LiveJournal, on AOL, like, just sort of like being a fan, and it was like, it's great. I can connect with people, but it's not really useful in the real world. But now it actually is useful in the real world. So.
It's really cool. So what is your like work on as a localizer kind of involve, I guess, on the more micro level?
Yeah, so for something like Role Taker and Fantasy Star, it's I work with translators, and they're translating Japanese text, and my job is to basically refine it into something that sounds more natural in English. So in the case of the Law DLC is just, knowing what law sounds like, in the anime and the manga, just having the raw, English translation, refining that into sounding more like the character, and just, obviously being like grammatically correct and all that stuff. But it's just, I basically get to write as law, just with kind of like a source text, which is really cool.
So, on a video game, do they give you a style guide for like what kind of name choices you use for, like, because different sometimes the anime will use one name for a character and the manga will use another, or the fans use one?
Yeah. So normally, a lot of times companies will just sort of like give you just the text, and you kind of are kind of left with dealing with how to have a style guide after the fact, which is like something that could probably be refined a bit better. So far on our end was just getting the text, saying, hey, we need to make the same thing across the board, checking in with the company and saying, hey, does this name look okay to you guys? We're going to go with this, and then getting the okay from whatever company it is, whether it's Sega or what have you, to agree to how we're localizing the name.
Joe, you're also a resident law expert, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you mentioned having to like write as law, and I really thought you did a good job in the DLC. I thought it was a really well written script for him.
Thanks. Yeah, it's really fun. Like, I mean, this is like a deep dive, but I used to role play a lot, like on LiveJournal and on AOL, like way back in the day, like in the early 2000s and the 90s. And so, and even just writing fanfic, it's a great just exercise and just writing. And so I guess in a way it's really just translating that, no pun intended, into writing for a game, just getting into that character's head and kind of speaking for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say, I know you're definitely hitting a lot of buttons or perking up the ears of a lot of people listening who are, and I know even on our podcast who hit that kind of fan fiction, that same kind of button. Steve or Ed, I want to hog all the time here. Either of you guys, yeah.
Just in going through One Piece, you said you were going through it in like last year. Like, what's your favorite character? What do you love about the series? I mean, you've obviously watched a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to always like stray into the villain side of things. So like I love Doflamingo, I love Luffy, I love Crocodile. But I also love Ace. But definitely I seem to fall into the trap of like loving the villain of the hour of the series. But I mean, just from a narrative standpoint, I love the way Oda just can weave, plot devices throughout this huge, world he's created. I think that's probably, my favorite part of One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
Good answer. Yeah.
Steve, did you have anything?
Maybe just it's back to just like the video game process. Are you supplied with like any like video footage at all, or is it just PDFs, or Word documents? Here's the scripts. Like,
no, go for it. Sorry.
I was just curious if they give you any like visuals, like, hey, here's currently what's going on, or maybe they just know you're a One Piece fan. They're like, all right, you know the drill here.
Yeah, I mean, normally it's just text. For something like One Piece, obviously there's a lot of just wikis and what have you and stuff to go off of already. So that really helps. But yeah, normally it's just we're given the text and just kind of go for it. And if we have any questions, we can always ping the company. So
I have a question like specifically about in the DLC. Do you have like a favorite moment or something that you really enjoyed putting it putting your spin on or putting it out there?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like just I guess man, that's a hard question. A lot of the interactions with Crocodile I really enjoy doing because I mean, obviously, like as I said, I love him as a character, and so having like different cameos in the DLC were just really fun to kind of like dive into. Like we were all used to writing for Law and writing for like the random NPCs that show up, but whenever another legendary One Piece character shows up, it's like, oh yeah, like here's like Crocodile or Smoker, and so those are always really fun moments to kind of like dive into.
So those are good villains to love to hate, but which villain do you hate? Just period.
Oh man, I mean, I feel like the easiest answer, but just is so like right there, is Blackbeard. Like I can't. I have a hard. I mean, like I actually appreciate him like for his how do I say this? Like his role in the story. I respect that. I appreciate that. But man, like Marine Forward, like
yeah. One of the people on our show always says that you get like chills when he comes on because it's like this eerie, scary thing. Like, oh, this isn't going to be good. When he comes on.
Like when Stampede starts, everyone's like, oh my god, like.
I forgot. Yeah, the whole movie theater. I saw that in the city. And I just remember the whole theater was just, when he first comes on, erupted.
Same.
Yeah.
Same, like instantly.
Yeah. It's like, that's not good.
Yeah. I gotta say, too, it was so awesome seeing Stampede, like in New York, like in a very rowdy theater because people were just like not holding back.
No, yeah.
Like,
did you see it? Where did you see it? Now I'm curious.
Because so I saw it once at the AMC on 42nd Street.
Yeah.
And then I saw it again. I think it was a Regal down in the financial district, but the loudest theater that I saw it in was the AMC. Yeah,
you might have been at that screening I was at. It just was so rare. Every single character, except for Brand New, got a huge round of applause.
But that's the movie. That's the movie to do it though. Like kind of the point of the movie.
Oh yeah.
No, that's perfect.
I feel like
movie
we all
for
went
that.
into it like expecting to like just start like yelling and like clapping and shouting and stuff.
I think I said this story before, but I brought my friend from work who had never seen an anime movie before in theaters. And he's like, that was the most fun experience I've ever had in a movie theater.
Like they read One Piece though. They just haven't been to the theater.
No, they just hadn't. Yeah, they hadn't seen any anime movie in a theater. He's like, whoa.
It's just a different experience, like completely.
Absolutely.
It's like the same, I guess, like a horror movie maybe has like the same sort of vibe where people are really like interacting with it, or even like a Marvel movie or something. But but yeah, so it's like full audience like participation.
I mean, the cool thing about One Piece is like you were able to name like a bunch of random characters. It's like everyone has their own, thing that their own character that they hold dear. So when they go to the theater, you hear someone for everyone is such a cool
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there, but any other questions for Krys?
I'm assuming, Krys, you've got to play the game. I'm curious, what are some of your favorite parts of the game other than the Law DLC?
You know what's actually really messed up? I actually haven't had time to play through the whole game, which I feel like is very common, like in this line of work, where we're all constantly like playing games to try and stay fresh and to try and like just immerse ourselves in them. So like every game dev that I know has like a stack of games that just like they don't get through, including the games that they're sometimes like actually on. So yeah, like I've played for the Law DLC, but the actual like full game, I just have like not had time.
That makes sense. I think I don't work in games, of course, but even I have a stack of games because there's only so much time in the day. But
oh yeah,
with everything going on lately, like any chance I have to play Animal Crossing, I'm on it. But
oh yeah. I keep telling myself, I'm gonna get through the stack, and then I just on Animal Crossing and just like doing everything else but that stack of games. So yeah.
Tempting mistress.
I do have a question. Also, we're zigzagging all over the place, but it's okay. That's our traditional way of doing this. So how did your partner actually hook you into it? Like what? Because I'm someone who, so Ed and I were roommates in college, and I am really, really bad at getting into things. Like I will be the last person to get into something.
Oh, same.
Yeah, and he showed me the crocodile Luffy fight. And I'm like, okay, I'm game. I'll watch this. So, like, what was it for you that like pushed you over the edge?
And it's because I knew he liked classical music.
I love, I'm a nerd.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've mentioned that.
I mean, oh man, this is like super embarrassing.
Perfect. I like it.
I mean, we're watching. Like, I was enjoying it. Kind of just like. Characters are cute. Like, I love Zoro. Cool. Not totally hooked yet. It wasn't until Kuro like showed up where I was just like, I like this guy, and like she had predicted it. Her best friend had predicted it, and it was just like really sad that I latched onto this like super inconsequential character. And now it's like a running joke between all of us that I like got into One Piece literally because of like this guy who like tap dances and is like a Catman type thing. But yeah, it was the tap dancing butler extraordinaire that hooked me. So
that's great. No, I mean, there's no. I was gonna say that is embarrassing, but no, there is no embarrassing way to get into One Piece. I mean, the characters are all ridiculous. I mean, that's like that's one of the things we love about it. Yeah.
I'll keep calling myself.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ed. Steve, I think you were going to say something.
No, I had a question. This is more of a general question, but like I always like to ask people when they come on. But how did you get into anime and manga? Like from the start, what were you into when you first got into anime and manga?
Oh man, I feel like my earliest memory is like watching. So like Sci-Fi Channel used to have like a Saturday anime.
Yeah, in the mid '90s, they would show like stuff like Manga Entertainment, like they would show like Ninja Scroll and like Armitage and stuff like that.
Yeah, like Vampire D was on it.
Mm-hmm.
They have Project Echo. Like those are like my first like inklings of liking like anime and manga and Japanese media. But then it was just like Pokemon was like a thing that I woke up like super early before school to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Nami, like but the earliest memories I have is just that sci-fi block of stuff that they would show. But for some reason, like I mean, One Piece was just never on my radar, even though like my friends were into it in high school. But I was like doing like Cowboy Bebop and like just really different. I guess I was into the more like serious, quote unquote serious stuff. And so to me, like One Piece was like, this is like too like kiddie for me. And now knowing like how often One Piece makes me cry, like it's not even a reality. So, but yeah.
And also the tap dancing, you know.
Yeah, you know.
All right, cool.
Yeah, Sam, Joe, Steve, I'm gonna give you guys a chance.
No, that's funny.
Yeah, I wish I could
Nice
talk
remake.
about the actual DLC, but I don't really know what to ask.
I mean, we could ask just law-related questions the rest of the time. I'm fine with that too. But no, Krys, thank you for coming on. When you catch up, you know, feel free to. We'd love to have you on for talk about the latest chapter as well. And I understand the multitasking aspect of it too. Trust me.
Yeah. But I would love to come back on and talk and cry and you know the usual One Piece things.
There'll always be time for crying. Anything. It's a good thing to get your mind off of things. One Piece, especially the last few chapters. I feel like so. Great to have you on. Stay safe out there, Krys. Thanks for coming.
Thanks. Yeah, you guys stay safe and keep up the good work.
Thank you. This is the Piece Together segment where we take your questions, comments, and theories, and then we drink and do shots. Let's see, what do we have on Ed? What do we call it?
This piece.
What do we got on Discord?
All right, first one comes from Kuwabara, who says, "Hey, OPP, listening to the previous episode of the podcast, Zach was asking for prizes for guessing the end of One Piece. He posted a picture, and he says, what better than this? Baggy the Clown, officially from Target. I was wondering what other weird or odd collectibles you have. Thank you for being my favorite podcast." So, yeah, this is this looks like a 4Kids.
Not Baggy.
Yeah, that's...
that is not 4Kids merchandise. That is like...
That's bootleg?
No. It is official merchandise that I've seen in stores. I haven't seen it at Target.
Hold on. Let me get on Discord and check it out.
No, I'm going to just Google this, Baggy the Clown. I'm sure if I look up the images, it'll...
Well, you know, and that's how he's called in France, I think, in the French version, or the German version, he's called Baggy.
Well, he does wear that baggy... He does wear that baggy shirt after the time skip, so maybe, you know, maybe that was more prophetic than we thought.
Figurine d'Action, it is French. This is a French figure.
Here it is. I found it. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I found it.
I think it must be like Canadian, but I felt like I saw these in like Midtown Comics years ago.
Who knows?
It's just weird. And then they use that. And they use that like Bada Boom font for the names. It's very not One Piece.
Do you guys have any weird collectibles like that? Oh. That was the other question.
Do I own them? Do we own them or?
No.
I'm trying to think. I used to own some pretty. I had those One Piece Caracolec cans, which is a really, really, really weird word, but it's a portmanteau of character collector cans, and they were back when One Piece was still. When One Piece merch was still labeled from TV animation One Piece.
Oh yeah,
yeah, as we all know, and I have a whole crap ton of them. Not a crap ton. I have several that I bought at Otakon around 2003, and they're still like I think they're in my storage unit at this point. But they're pretty wacky. They're not wacky. They're just kind of interesting. They come in these little. They're basically these cylinders. You can take the top off of it. On the outside of the cylinder is the wanted poster of the said character. And then on the inside, on the opposite side of the wanted poster is like a little background diorama and a figure, an in-action figure, if you will, that you can rotate using a little wheel on the base of the cylinder. So then it looks like, Captain Kuro is on the slope, and you can spin him around. I remember I really wanted to find all of them some time ago, but
I have an unofficial One Piece guidebook from Taiwan. I posted a bunch of pages from it a few months back.
Oh yeah, I remember you. I vaguely remember that. Yeah,
that is some weird, wild stuff in there. That's I think it's more in the vein of this Although this is apparently actually official merchandise. So.
Oh no! Wait, I forgot about the wackiest piece of merchandise I have, and you guys all have seen it. William gave this to me when we were in Japan.
Oh God!
It's the Luffy, the Straw Hat emblem as drawn by Luffy phone case, and it's literally just a gigantic plastic straw hat emblem that you put your phone
huge.
Inside.
It's so large.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen, and yet
it's like twice the size of the phone, which makes no sense, but it's just huge.
Yeah.
Wow, this isn't merchandise. This is something I have in my collection. It was given to me recently at Anime NYC just last year from a friend. It is a Chinese takeout menu for a Chinese restaurant, East 21 in Jackson Heights. And on the front of this menu, we have the Straw Hat Pirates. It's the illustration of all of them holding the Vivre cards. I think this was done maybe around 2012, I think, but it's like redrawn, so it kind of like it looks like it's from the anime, like it's traced over. And throughout this menu, it just has the Jolly Rogers that you could easily find on the internet, probably vectored by my friend John. Throughout the menus, so like when you look up like the American specials, you see like the red-haired pirates, Jolly Roger and Buggies, and the Arlong pirates, and I guess that's still flamingos there, or maybe that's just like the auction house one. Like if you go to side orders, you have Brooke and Phoebe's and Ace's and Frankie's Jolly Roger. It's I don't think it's endorsed by Shueisha.
You say that, but why wouldn't they endorse a random Chinese restaurant, you said, in Jackson Heights? Why not? Why not? I forgot my wacky piece of merchandise, Steve. And it's and we should all know this one because this is a pen. The mass pen. That's the answer. Yeah. That's a ridiculous piece of merchandise that makes no sense.
I mean, a pen is a pen, but a mass pen, that's a pen.
Yeah, that's a pen.
And a cookie is just a cookie, but a fig Newton is fruit and cake.
Okay, Ed.
Oh yes, there is another question. Straw Hat Pirate 9 says, "This chapter was amazing. Seeing the crew kick butt together after so long, it was therapeutic. I'm looking forward to the party and the end of this arc. It's going to be huge. That cliffhanger, though, I'm looking forward to meeting Kaido's kid." Yeah, me too.
Yeah, whoever that may be. We can move on to emails then, Ed?
Yes.
All right, first one comes from Hollow Trifecta, who says, this chapter made me think about when Cat Viper, Neko Mamushi, would arrive during this battle. Do you think that Oda would take time out of the story to have him be deceived by Kanjuro when he makes his entrance? He's the only one out of the 9 that does not know that Kanjuro is a traitor, but I don't see it serving the story well if we have to go through that once again. What do you guys think?
I mean, if it makes for a good gag, then absolutely.
What was it that doesn't know? I'm sorry, I missed the character in the beginning.
Cat Viper.
Cat Viper.
Like, he doesn't know Kanjuro's a traitor.
It'd be funny if like Cat Viper just like attacks like it's Kanjuro and so it's like, oh, it's like, hey, Cat Viper, you knew that Kanjuro was the traitor. It's like, Kanjuro was the traitor? I just I didn't care for Kanjuro.
I still want him to come on Zoe. Like I want him to bring Zunisha. I still want him to bring Zunisha onto Wano and Onigashima. But we'll see. Next question comes from Shift, who says, first, I guess is for Steven, the idea for a Reddit segment name, the Reddit line. And second, how have we not thought of that one yet? It's a good choice, I think.
Hold your horses.
Okay, I'm holding them. Second, I think the reason that Jimbei hasn't gotten his party twice now is because Carrot will join alongside him. She was with them on the Sunny both times, so the fact that they keep stopping short is conspicuous. Plus, she's the only other person in the shot with every other Straw Hat welcoming Jimbei. I could go on, but I'll save it for once she's had her time to shine, as Pedro said on Onigashima.
Maybe they're just holding off because Jimbei's like, oh, we have a toast, we're going to welcome in. And they're like, shh, not right now. Carrot's here. we gotta wait for her to leave. We don't want this to be awkward.
Oh my God.
We don't want to break the poor girl's heart.
Next
Carrot's
one's
like, you're going to call me later when it's time to hang out, right? Like, yeah. We'll call you. We'll let you know.
We're not going to call. Next one is from Ben. Who said, this has nothing to do with the newest chapter. Frankly, my brain is so flabbergasted, I'm still trying to process it. But I present a little mental exercise. Imagine every major Jimbei scene so far, but replace Jimbei with Jabberjaw from the Hanna-Barbera series of the same name. I expect Nuck-Nucks and Soidenlies to ensue.
If Jimbei sounded like Jabberjaw, no one would want him on the Straw Hat team. So.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's time for Reddit. Stephen, what do we have?
All right. Well, the call went out for new titles, custom titles for the Reddit section, and I've got a few. So if you would like to join in on Reddit, you can visit our subreddit, reddit.com/r/One Piece podcast, where you can submit your questions and or comments to the subreddit archipelago.
That's a good one.
Or maybe if you would prefer, sidle your ship up to the giant ghost ship, Threadit Bark. Or Red Ring Redland.
Nope.
What if we went on a nice night out on the town at the finest themed casino and restaurant in all of Alabasta, Sir Crocodile's very own Thread Ditters?
I thought you were going to say Reddit. I thought you were going to say Reddit based, but
that sounds like an appetizer at like Outback Steakhouse.
I'm gonna get a big plate of Thread Ditters.
Sweet ass.
What the fuck is going on?
All right. I'll tell you what's going on. Roderick OP has a comment. I've been rereading some One Piece as you do in quarantine, and while reading the Impel Down arc, I've started to feel sorry for all the guards and Magellan who are only doing their job, especially with the arrival of Blackbeard escalating everything to another level. Anyone else feel this?
Well, they should be the main character of One Piece then.
There are I really like bad guys who are just doing their job and doing their job well to be foiled.
Like
I
Sam
think
Wessel
Magellan
from Attack of the Clones.
I get it.
I think Magellan's a great example, but I also think there's Lucci's a good example of that. You know, he's just doing his job. He loves his job too. He really enjoys his job.
Lucci's an asshole.
He's a complete asshole, but he's just doing his he's just doing his job.
Must suck for Lucci right now. He's got to work from home.
He's gonna kill his family.
He's gonna do like a finger pistol through a Zoom call.
He's gonna mail anthrax to all of his targets.
Wow. An Anthrax reference. And not the band.
No. Lucci would go out. He would just have to wear that stupid mask he wore on Water 7. And he's like, hold on, I gotta go talk to the Frankie family. That weird little half mask he had.
Right, and then he comes back because he wasn't wearing it properly. He's just wearing it over his eyes.
Oh yeah.
Comes back, he's got COVID.
Jesus. All right. Grand Reboot says, so you know how Oda shone a different light on the fishmen in the Sabaody arc after what Arlong did to Nami, and how Don Quixote Mjosgard and Homing made the Tenryubito, the Celestial Dragons, a somewhat nuanced, overarching villain? I believe Oda will do the same with the Kurozumi clan, but definitely not with Orochi and Kanjuro, maybe. I was wondering if Oda would introduce a character that can maybe accomplish this later into the story. And assuming he already has and that you think it's plausible, who do you think fits the bill? I think Isho Fujitora fits well, though I have no context for believing it, except that he is old enough for it to be plausible.
Well, I mean, the thing is, and I hope Oda addresses it, one of the reasons Orochi is interesting is because he is also a victim of his surroundings and how his family is treated. He is being punished through the generations, kind of like what happens in North Korea. And I think that happened in One Piece in another arc, and I can't remember which one, where you're a grandchild who gets punished for the. I think Chin Zhao said something along those lines too. Yeah, it's like, I will punish you for your grandfather's sins, even though obviously Luffy had nothing to do with getting rid of his head horn. My point being is that I think the Kurozumi clan, it is not Kanjuro's fault or Orochi's fault for being in those circumstances. It's how they react to those circumstances, which they should be blamed for, obviously, and also that they are definitely victims of how they grew up. But again, I've mentioned this on the show. Reason is not an excuse. That's why they're bad guys, but that is not an excuse for why they do bad things. So I maybe we'll see that, but I at the very least like to see Oda explore that kind of familial, tragedy a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, yeah.
That's a good answer. ATLA for Life says, as an aside to One Piece real quick, over the last day I've binge read all 11 volumes of Vinland Saga, and I was happily surprised to see Steven's name in the back of the book as translator. What a manga, I say. I can't help but read the translator notes in Steven's voice every volume. See, this is how you get me to read your question. As for One Piece, do you think Law's plan will actually work, knowing that Oda revealed it to us this chapter?
Absolutely not.
Something will always go wrong.
Yeah, something will go wrong. We just don't know what. It might work better than the last few.
I think. Stuff will go wrong, obviously, but I feel like the mechanism, like of him taking the other Akazaya around the back and then using room to teleport them onto the island. I feel like that is going to work, just because it's a really cool image. I mean, whenever Law really lets loose with his powers, it always looks awesome. And so I feel like he wouldn't set that up and then not do something like that. That's my feeling. Whether it works or not. Die Hard Cry Harder says, hey, OPP, with the introduction of the Tobi Roppo, do you think the arrival of 6 supposedly new strong enemies, along with all the other possible enemies, we will finally have an opportunity to see all the Straw Hats having individual fights, or will we only get a handful of one-on-one fights?
Well, seeing as one of them might be a woman, that means Nami is going to have a matchup again, which is I'm pretty tickled about.
Maybe Robin would. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
It's good to see Robin part of the. It was good seeing Robin fight in this chapter as with the guys. Yeah, that was
very cool.
That was a good treat. Yeah.
I mean, literally, there are so many characters in this arc. Like, he can do all of that if he wants. Although I feel like a lot of the lesser characters are probably going to get more equivalent to what we saw in Dressrosa. Where it's more like, I don't know, maybe one chapter of overcoming a certain obstacle that another character represents or something like that. Thinking of all the Bartolomeo stuff.
Yeah, I just want to add, it's like Dressrosa. This is kind of like the Akazaya Nines fight. This is it would make sense for them to kind of take down Kaido's team, but I just want to see the Straw Hats do it. If I could be honest.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, honestly, I could see team ups where it's one Straw Hat and one Akazaya going against someone. That would be cool too, I think. But I mean, I don't know. He has so many options. There's so many characters. None Easy says, I have to echo Steven's comment last week about being disappointed with Jimbei staying behind at Whole Cake Island. It was always baffling to me how Oda set up the emperors to be these unstoppable forces, yet somehow Jimbei, Germa, the rest of the Fishman pirates would likely somehow still be alive after facing Big Mom head on. Jimbei shows up and seems pretty happy he made it on time for the upcoming battle, but how did he get away? I'm sure we'll get some sort of explanation, but it's definitely bugging me. I think Oda cut away to the rest of the Alliance this chapter to not show us the conversation between Jimbei and the rest of the Straw Hats about this. I saw a theory online about how Jimbei and the rest were imprisoned by Big Mom and then possibly freed by someone. Maybe Blackbeard paid Whole Cake Island a visit in Mom's absence to steal her poneglyph. What are your thoughts and theories on how he got away? Well, to be fair,
One Piece.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, to be fair, my disappointment is not that he got away. It's that he needed to stay behind kind of artificially just to, not be with the rest of the crew so that we could have this fun moment now. That's what I found frustrating because it didn't seem like there was a good reason for it. I don't care about how, he's a fisherman. He swam away. Like Big Mom doesn't have a whole ton of fishermen on her side. So that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. So I don't know. I guess I am not fussed about this.
I guess it would be awkward if Jimbei got to Wano with Luffy and the rest of the Whole Cake crew, and of course we know they got separated. And it'd be weird if, say, Jimbei got separated from the Whole Cake crew. So if he was following Usopp or Frankie around, oh, I'm one of you guys, not one of the Straw Hats, and they're like, yeah, no, we'll talk to Luffy first. We'll see what he has to say. Instead of just this awkward conversation, Jimbei's, no, I'm serious. I'm part of the crew. Why won't you believe me? We'll talk to Luffy.
Brad Wonder says, is it bad that I already like the female Tobiropo member more than Smoothie?
Yes. It's a little weird because she hasn't done anything yet. I mean, she does exist. So, if you had such a low opinion of Smoothie, that would be a little weird.
Yeah. I can't get down with this.
Yeah, me either. Next.
Falcon Gale says, since we ideally will be properly introduced to the whole Tobiropo next chapter, do you think they are all dinosaur-type Zoans, or could they have some other prehistoric creatures like Jack, maybe a cat model Sabretooth, or an Ammonite? Also, Kaido's son, blood or bond? But we did talk about Kaido's.
Yeah. Pterodactyl. We already did that.
Ooh, an Ammonite. So is it an Ammonite is like a Nautilus, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at that. Would be dope. That would be really dope.
I do hope that they are all that they are all either prehistoric type characters or all dragon fruit based characters. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think big extinct animals is a really good. They have to all be animals because that's kind of the shtick, except for Apu.
If they're extinct, does that mean one of them's the dodo?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that would be great. Dodos are awesome.
Due to
as we've learned in Animal Crossing.
Due to
mega doo-doo.
No. Due to the fact that
there we go.
that Drake is an Allosaurus, does that mean one of these could be a T-Rex?
Yeah. There's got to be a T-Rex. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
I assume the leader is the T-Rex because it's just they're the king.
And if he has a rivalry with Drake because they both look alike.
Yeah.
Have we had the discussion as to which dinosaur we most want to see here? That we haven't. Like a Triceratops or something
I said Triceratops when we talked about it before.
Whatever that one that Steven Spielberg made up for Jurassic Park 3. What's that one called?
The Spinosaurus?
The Poochiesaurus.
Because the Spinosaurus is an actual dinosaur, and it's page 1.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that dinosaur actually is a thing.
Guys, I'm Googling coolest dinosaurs right now.
So how about the Ankylosaurus?
What are you, 5?
top eight coolest dinosaurs according to watchmojo.com/Google. Spinosaurus.
They would have a countdown.
Totally.
Watch Mojo has a countdown for everything.
We're doing it. Number 8 is Spinosaurus, the one with the spine.
Hey.
Number 7 is a Troodon. He's a little guy, I think. Who knows? Number 6 is an Iguanodon. He's not an iguana. That's the catchphrase. He's a don. Number 5, an Ankylosaurus, who looks like a turtle, but he's also not that. Number 4, a Stegosaurus. He's the one that you had as a child in your bedroom. Number 3, a Dinocytus. I don't know how to pronounce it, but enjoy that. Number 2, Triceratops. Number 2, a Triceratops. Few dinosaurs have captured the attention of humans quite like this creature, is what it says. And number 1, a Tyrannosaurus Rex, one of the largest land predators to ever walk the earth.
How is Velociraptor not on that?
What about a Megalodon? I mean, that's a good one, too.
That's a shark.
That's a shark. Yeah.
Watch Mojo.
Yeah, but it's a giant
Get the
shark.
hell out of here.
Hey,
Did they not put Raptor on there?
Well,
no.
Velociraptors are tiny things. They're not as big as they're in Jurassic Park.
I like this. A website called grunge.com has the biggest dinosaurs you had no idea existed. So I'm really advertising all these things.
Yeah.
Kirkomedosaurus. That's the
he's
first
a fossil
one.
now.
A Gigantosaurus.
If there's an iguanodon on Wano, wouldn't it be called an iguana bang?
Come
on, guys, that was kind of funny.
I think for variety's sake, I would like it if one of them was the spitting kind of dinosaur.
The Dilophosaur.
Yeah, with the neck thing.
The Dilophosaur.
Nice doggy.
Dilophosaurus.
What about a Brachiosaurus? Then they'll give Kaku a run for his money.
We did that. Queen is a Brachiosaurus.
Oh yeah, that's right, Queen. I forgot about Queen.
You know what animal that still exists that I'd like to see? Now I'm forgetting the Komodo dragon. I feel like would be a really cool devil fruit.
But that fight would be boring because it would bite someone, they'd get poisoned, and then just follow them around until they die. That would be an interesting fight.
If you've watched, I think it's one of the new Planet Earth. I think it's Planet Earth 2, where they have the Komodo dragons fighting each other. It's freaking bizarre. It is like cool and creepy and weird. Yeah.
Remember the video of giraffes fighting each other? How they fight?
Yeah,
they swing their heads at each other.
I think pretty much any animal fighting its own kind looks ridiculous. I mean, humans included. Like if you've ever seen drunken brawls.
I did Taekwondo. It looks ridiculous, but no, I do want to say one of Oda's favorite things is animals. I mean, that's why Strong World was so filled with them. So I would not be surprised to see. That's like we talk about it being the Mary Sue of countries or whatever what's the saying? I don't know. And I think the fact that there is an animal kingdom pirates that see all or potentially most of the animals we're going to see in the series in this arc just goes to level up that Oda excitement here. So I'm excited to see that. Anyway, what's the next question, Stephen?
Yeah. The Real Peaches 144 has an educational question here. This chapter has me confused as I thought King and Queen were supposed to be part of the Tobiropo, but they aren't. What are King and Queen's titles then? The answer is that they are lead performers. That is the top level of Kaido's dudes, and the headliners are the ones below them. The Tobiropo are the 6 best headliners. So,
got it.
So, what's his face? Hawkins is a headliner, correct?
Yeah.
What happened to him again? I thought about rereading Wano just so I could remember that.
He got punked out by Law and Drake.
Yeah, that's right. I wonder if he'll show up.
He's probably there. Yeah.
He'll be like, "How dare you punk out the Scarecrow?"
I see a 10% chance of me having any impact in this arc.
Of me being the worst supernova.
He's still the worst.
Wow.
He is still the worst.
Hawkins is still yet to impress. Like, I feel bad for him. He got jobbed out, but like,
it's funny because Apu has done like nothing, and I still like him a hell of a lot more than Hawkins.
He's already cool.
He is cool. Apu was born cool,
like,
even though he's a dick.
Hawkins is a tryhard. Look at him. Look at the way he dresses.
I like
Apu has so many things going for him. His mother was a clarinet, and you know,
or a piano. We don't know this
or
yet.
A piano. Could be a piano.
And when he comes back, we just might have to make him sound like Scaramouche in the manga recap. I'm all for that.
Dude, I think it would be funny as shit, by the way, if like there was an episode of Mori that had Kaido, a clarinet, and a piano, and trying to find out who the mother was.
Yeah, Kaido took quarantine real hard. He got real desperate.
Oh God!
I would like to see any of those instruments dance in celebration.
It just they just fall down. They just fall flat off the chair.
They're just completely inanimate objects. There's no, not even playing for anything. Steve, can you get that episode image ready for us right now? Just with the set of Mori?
I'm gonna redo it now. I'm gonna redraw the whole Mori Povich set and just. If there was like a week to prep an episode image, this would be the episode. Like, holy shit.
yeah, I agree.
There's so much potential this week.
All right, Esrop22 says, I just rewatched the episode where Chopper goes Monster Point for the first time. I was thinking, when was the last time we saw that? And from what I can remember, it was in Fishman Island. Since we are fighting a crew made up almost exclusively of monsters, I really want to see Monster Chopper fight again. Do you think we will see it in Wano?
I kind of hope so, because there wasn't really a place for it in Dressrosa or in Whole Cake, or
he did Punk Hazard.
He did do a Whole Cake.
Punk Hazard.
Yeah,
I know. Punk Hazard, he did.
Yeah, and he definitely did in Whole Cake too. He was trying to.
Oh, on the boat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
he did. Huh. I forgot about that. Yeah,
it was. Brief.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah,
there was a lot going on. Yeah,
sure enough.
In a more like one-on-one style, I would definitely like to see.
There hasn't been a lot of focus on Chopper since Punk Hazard. Really, he hasn't gotten a lot of.
Not enough.
He's been a supporting character.
The problem is all of the Straw Hats are amazing and precious, and we don't see them enough, and we don't get to see them strut their stuff enough. I mean, with some exceptions, Luffy particularly. But the thing is, I can't complain about that either, because I love seeing Luffy, do what he needs to do. So, we'll just have a spin-off where it's just the Straw Hats punching shit. Wait, that's One Piece, I guess. But anyway, what's next, Stephen?
All right. Optfire says, Stephen, could you explain your decision-making on when you translate group or character names? You translate Dogstorm, Cat Viper, Seven Warlords, but not Tobi Roppo and Akazaya Samurai. So this is actually a pretty simple one. It's because all of the former are not from Wano, and all of the latter are from Wano. And pretty much like my basic thought process there is like the Wano stuff I tend to lean on the side of leaving in the Japanese, because this is the Japan arc, and so like if anything is appropriate to have that more Japanese flavor in terms of how the names sound and stuff like that, this is it. I try my best to counter that by explaining the context through the text somehow to make it clear what that's referring to. The others are, they're not from that same setting, and so it just feels artificial. Like you just have these weird, you would have these weird Japanese names, and all of the minks have like very punny names, which I do translate when it is possible. That's why we have stuff like Genghis Khan and so on.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
Best character in One Piece, hands down.
That's what that is. And our last one is from Desserts, who says, hello guys, greetings from Costa Rica. Awesome. This is my first time writing. With the small tease of the Tobi Roppo, we saw what looks like a female or female legs. This fills me with excitement thinking of a strong female character with a dinosaur zoan fruit that is meant to fight. We don't have many female characters like that on One Piece. Any thoughts about that or wishes for what the Tobiropo could be or do in the arc? Thanks for your podcast. It's been a blessing for my Mondays at the office, and it feels better to listen to you when I can read the manga legally.
Nice. Yeah. No, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Let's just hope, if this is a female character, let's hope she's not defeated by like falling in love with whoever the hell she's fighting.
Sanji.
I don't think you would do that like in Dressrosa and then do it again, but you never know.
Well, and also whole cake a little bit. It happens.
That was more complicated
ish. Yeah, that was a very complicated.
That was an abusive family. That's what that was.
There was a lot going on there. Oh yeah. There's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean the cloak that she was wearing definitely reminded me of Boa Hancock. I got those vibes from what he showed. So I don't know.
She'd be a good candidate for the saber-toothed tiger for that reason. The fuzzy coat. Yeah. Okay. Cool. It'll be a cat fight, but it'll be one where guts are spilled, and I mean that literally, but also maybe metaphorically.
Get your Eartha Kitt, Tobiropo going on here.
I like it.
Yeah, no, I do like that. So the lead performers, King, Queen, Jack, like they're just kind of these big, goofy galoots, and I like that the Tobiropo seem to be. They're like the equivalent of like the early 5 group of the Straw Hats. They're like the human characters. Like they're the cool 20-something looking, as far as we can tell, like people, and that I kind of like. I like that it's going to be more of like a CP9 group that has the potential for that kind of visual appeal, because the rest of Kaido's guys have been kind of goofy.
If they look like they're 20-something, they're probably 15. Okay.
I don't know. Lucci's in his late 20s. I don't know. CP9 actually was a good example of that being somewhat age appropriate.
Yeah. Steven, that's it for Reddit, right?
That's it for Reddit.
Ed, it is time to
Piece the tweet. Yeah. It's time to piece the tweet, everybody. First one comes from Maigono Shiba, who says, "Hello, OPP. With Golden Week nearly upon us, what are your predictions for any cliffhangers or reveals?" Now, I will take this time to talk about the schedule. So, yeah, as you saw at the end of the chapter, next chapter, April 26th, the Sunday, May 3rd, that is smack in the middle of Golden Week. So there probably will not, that's not going to, there's no chapter that week either. So we're going to get one chapter for the next 3 weeks.
As far as we know, I guess I don't know.
Wait, I could find this. Shonen Jump actually does post their schedule ahead of time, so I could see if I could find that. But yeah,
I just think we're kind of in unprecedented territory here as far as this stuff. So I would take everything with a grain of salt.
But does anyone have any thoughts about cliffhangers or reveals for the week off?
Nope.
Not really. I'm kind of. I mean, we're gonna charge into the castle. That's what we're gonna do.
So, I'm just looking at when they're saying the next ones are coming out. So, what's today? April 12th, 13th is when this one comes out. Okay, I don't think they updated it. So it was supposed to be you're right, a double issue on the 27th and then May 11th, which explains Promised Neverland is off that 22-23, so it's not coming back for a month. It's not coming until 5/11 because the next one got delayed. And they are. I just caught up and I'm like, oh, they're finishing the series now. That seems to be what's happening. Yeah.
Okay. Next one comes from Johnny24. It says Ben Beckman is Shank's first mate, but in Chapter 0, it appears that Yasopp was recruited first. How do you think first mates are chosen? I feel like you just sort of, that's the role. Like that's not the role Yasopp wants. Like,
I assume they're picked like how when you post something on YouTube and the first person that leaves a comment just types in all caps first. Maybe that's what Ben Beckman did. Who knows?
I don't know.
It's when you look at your bro and your bro looks back at you and you realize this is for life.
You shake hands like in Predator.
Yeah, exactly.
I assume this is more of a Fast and the
you
Furious
son
thing.
of a bitch.
Oh my god.
That's what he did.
All right, next one comes from the Super Mim, who says, I imagine there are some people who disagree with me, but I really like Jimbei's reason for being late. Feels very in character and also reasonable given the circumstances. Well, Jimbei does take care of his friends.
I disagree. No.
Well, we already had that discussion last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sniper of my heart, Kendra sends in a comment. Says, the trying to plan around Luffy gives me Enies lobby vibes, which I love. I wonder if we'll see the return of Olinlin. Well, she's got her personality back now, but she does want to wear the kimono as well. So we'll see how she's feeling.
I didn't even think about the Enies lobby comparison, but that is very true.
Mm-hmm.
Even down to like the detail of different groups going on the sides while he charges up the middle.
Then when you think about it, Big Mom's had a weird few days, like getting knocked off the thing unconscious, new identity, then getting her memory back, and now she's going to a party with like fancy clothes. Like, yeah, it's been
all I ask for Luffy is just please don't have him charge up the middle and then wind up getting thrown in the prison underneath the castle.
Jesus.
Luffy gets stuck in something.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's definitely gonna get stuck in something. I mean, that's how that's gonna work. God, the Onigashima Highway is time of day.
Boy, the 101, I swear.
It's a quarantine and there's still traffic.
Oh my god. Okay. What's the next question?
Next one comes from Jacob Ove, who says, which ship from the series would be the best to record the One Piece podcast on?
The Mary
ship?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well,
the Sunny has more amenities.
The Sunny, I mean.
Yeah.
I would say the Sunny, but then like if the Straw Hats are hanging on it, there's probably just a lot of shouting and running around.
Yeah, not good calls on that. Yeah.
Maybe Hawkins because he's so boring. Like Hawkins would come to, it's like, attention everyone, crew, it's quiet hours.
Well,
I have my tarot cast to record.
It's like a 10% chance of shutting the fuck up.
Is he Skinner? Like, Skinner?
Well, if we were on a Pooh ship, we'd at least have our own band. That would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
Superintendent Kaido.
Mother, it's 7 p.m. on a Friday night. Time for our tarot readings.
Big mother.
Oh my god. That would be.
Why is there like
oh,
20
Hawkins
potential...
is the son. Hawkins is the son.
Why is there 20 potential episode images this week? I swear to God.
Superintendent Kaido.
Oh, wow.
You'll never. I'm not the shogun of the lion, mother, and you never will be.
Oh man. Okay. Next one comes from Simply Scarlet, who says, just for Steve, I'm going to revive the Dellinger as Kaido's son theory. Well, I hadn't thought about that one.
Is Kaido's son?
Dellinger is Kaido's son. I mean,
he's half daddy.
he's half fishman, right? That's the
right. Fighting fishman, yeah.
Kaido had fighting fish. My fur mom.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I wonder who Dellinger's mom or dad would be in that case. Well, it doesn't really matter with Fishman.
Well, it's not a piano or a clarinet. We know that for sure.
Or a dime gonna fuck me a fish.
I was just gonna say, with fishmen or women, it doesn't, or mermaids or mermen, it doesn't matter because they, there's no like genetic, and they could be anything.
Hot dolphin.
Okay. Next one comes from Mo McDonald, who says, what would you like to see on the first page of the next chapter? So what's next for, you want a color spread, or what's next for Capone Badges?
What's next? I want to know.
I feel like the next one has to be like Lola being like, let me introduce you to my new husband.
Capote.
Oh, my family.
Oh, yeah. Gotti. Yeah.
And all they say is, "Oh my family."
Oh,
my family.
Hey, Fred.
Oh my. What's next, Ed?
Okay, Peter Jensfeld says, "Hey OPP and happy isolation Eastern." Oh, Easter, I think you meant. All right, so chapter 977 felt like Oda giving us some positive vibes during this rough time with crew hugs. My theory about the ending regarding Kaido's son. What if it's just Drake? Drake impressed Kaido so much he sees him as a son. I don't know. I think the biological son route would be more interesting, but like if it's just an honorary son, it's probably just some character we already know.
Yeah, I mean Drake had a dad.
Yeah, he sucked.
Yeah, he had a bad dad. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Some people I think forget that, but it would be funny though. Drake is my son. He would never betray me. And Drake's like, Kobe's like, do you want us to attack the island now? It's like, call me back. Call me back. So I don't know why I made Kobe sound like Sherman. For some reason. Probably true.
All right. Next one comes from Chopper's Antlers, who says, "This chapter was so good. It made me smile the whole way through. Just what's needed in these hard times. No question. No question. Just looking forward to this week's episode." Well, thank you, Chopper's Antlers.
Yeah.
Next
I
question
agree with
comes-
that. This was a good feel good. Chapter. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes from Dr. Hoven, who says, "In the spirit of an old Bartholomew Kuma-related question I made some years ago, should Viz officially change Jesus Burgess' name to Susasu Basus?" I should have read that one before
Absolutely.
Shushisha, shoo.
What's next?
Okay. Pim Paul says, "Who could possibly be Kaido Jr., and how romantic do you think Kaido was with his mother? I bet he played the sympathy card. Well, he played the sympathy card and cried while eating Red Lobster."
Kaido Jr., the kids could call you Kaiju. Oh, that works perfectly.
That's perfect. My God. Wow.
Holy shit.
Wow, this episode is like cursed.
This is like 20 podcast episodes in one.
You know, earlier I thought about this, but I didn't say it earlier when we were trying to figure out what other prehistoric devil fruits there could be. I was thinking a human fruit, caveman.
Oh, the uku
I'm but a
fruit?
simple caveman lawyer.
The uku fruit, yeah, or the Fred Flintstone fruit.
Uku. No, I like the uku.
The
fruit.
pebbles fruit.
The Bam Bam fruit. What are you talking about?
Oh, there you go.
Jesus.
The fruit just looks like those donuts covered in fruity pebbles. It's like, oh, isn't this genius? That'll be $3.
It still tastes like shit.
I think I've added more episode titles in this segment than I did in the manga. Go ahead.
We'll save them for the next manga break.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
both Brian Newton, our very own Brian Newton, Dark King Zoro on Twitter, wrote in. Also Shonen Spotlight wrote in. But Brian has his theory about Apu. He says his origins are from the Grand Line anyway, and it sucks to lose him to the dark side, but I hope it isn't permanent. Next to Bedge and Rouge, he's my second favorite supernova.
Yeah,
Well,
a lot of room.
If it's like wrestling, sometimes the heel turn will be good for them, and it'll just make their character more rich. Or they could just be a chicken shit heel, and then you'll be right.
Yeah. And last one comes from Clinton Simpson, who says, "How about that One Piece podcast? Apparently Zoro is part Boozehound." Well, there we go. That's guy predicted our episode title.
Full circle.
Perhaps. Yeah.
That's it. That's the last one.
Oh, great. Let's round off and do a little bit of trivia.
Okay.
Right.
This has been the One Piece Podcast, episode 616 for April 12th, 2020. Want to give two big shout-outs here before we go. Please check out Krys. It was a lot of fun having her on. I think she will hopefully be back once she catches up with the manga pretty soon. So yeah, it was a lot of fun talking with her. So listen to that interview. If you skipped it, you shouldn't have. That's what I'm trying to say. She's worked on a lot. So you could check out her website at crystallow.com. And she's also on Twitter at Pseudo Machine. And Steven was also on the show. His handle is Translatosaurus. And next week, there's no manga, but we'll be back with volume 96. And we'll also be doing a live recap of One Piece Stampede sometime next weekend, probably on Sunday. And please check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/One Piece Podcast if you had not. It's the perfect time. We're doing a lot on there because we have a lot more time to do a lot more on there. So please subscribe if you have not. We also, I want to give a big thanks to Joe and Sam for coming on for this segment. Joe, where could people find you?
I'm usually on Twitter at Joanne Bobo.
Thank you, Joe. And Sam?
I'm on Twitter at Lucky Chainsaw, and the people can find me on the One Piece podcast almost every week doing the anime recaps. Not this week. Had to take a sabbatical on that one.
Double recap next week, though.
Double net next week, yeah. More to do next week. We have a lot already, actually. Alex, where can people find you?
Find me on Twitter at dude! That's all one word. And you can listen to me on Toho Yaro, which used to be monthly and now is going to be more than monthly. I mean, less than monthly?
No, bi-monthly.
More episodes.
We're doing 3 episodes this month.
Wow.
Good Morning should be coming out very soon. I have it all edited. It's just waiting for Joey to give the go-ahead. And we are recording Tora-san's Love Call on Tuesday, so that'll be hopefully out within the next week. And then after that, we will be covering Battles Without Honor and Humanity. So this month is going to be a doozy.
Is that the one that Oda did the cover for?
No.
I'm trying to remember. No. Which one was that? Now I can't remember.
Tale of Genji, I think.
No, I thought it was a Yakuza film series.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah.
It's not Battles, though.
No,
okay. My mistake. If Toho Yaro, this is a good time to get into that. If you haven't, watch Japanese cinema. I'm going to try and get a little more into the deep end with some Toho Yaro while this is all going on. Steve, how could people find you and what you're up to?
You could find me on Twitter and Instagram. Steve Yurko is my name. It's also my username. You can listen to me on other podcasts. You can listen to me on The Deep End with Matt J. You can listen to me on Toon Sweet with Doc. And I do want to plug Toon Sweet a little bit this week because while you might not be a wrestling fan, and probably in saying that you're probably not a fan of the entrance themes either, but we just released a special episode. It was an April Fool's Day episode that we recorded on April Fool's. It wasn't released on April Fool's, but nonetheless, we did a power ranking of all the Power Rangers themes. It was a lot of fun. With Grant,
friend of the show, Grant.
I totally didn't realize. I forgot. Yeah, we brought Grant in. He's the third man, Sentai master. So we brought him in, and it was a lot of fun. And so even if you don't like wrestling, but you remember watching Power Rangers, that might interest you. I recommend checking it out. It was a lot of fun. And also, there's still tons of wrestling references in there, so disregard those.
Ed, where could the good people out there contact us?
Well, you are Zach_Logan on Twitter. I am at Edward E. One Piece. I'm also at Weeb Trailers. And I found out we were talking about Trigun earlier, and I feel like it's a part of everyone's early anime story. So I posted a Japanese Trigun trailer, and it gets 2 to 3 times the engagement. Most of the obscure stuff that I post, even this show from 1998, it's still that deep in the fan consciousness.
I still love that show. The manga, I know you said, was not great, right?
It's the art style is hard. It was hard for me to read back then. I haven't revisited it, but it was a cluttered it was a hard to read style visually to me back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
But but the podcast can be found at onepiecepodcast.com, twitter.com, youtube.com, and facebook.com/onepiecepodcast. Please support us, patreon.com/onepiecepodcast. onepiecepodcast@gmail.com is our email address. onepiecepodcast is our Skype name. Let's see. You can subscribe on Spotify, subscribe on SoundCloud, subscribe on iHeartRadio, subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts, or call us on our phone number, Zach.
That phone number is 347-497-MAJI.
Maji.
That phone number again is 347-497-6254. Call anytime.
Anytime.
With your questions, comments, theories, or reasons why the kids can call you Kaiju. So we're gonna play. It was a big hit last time, and it's called Revisiting Alternate Episode Titles. The game. It's a very bad name. I'm working on that.
No. It's a meta game.
It's a very meta game. So I'm going to ask you, please pick a number between 380. I don't have all of them. 380 and 616. I'm going to give you the alternate titles. You're going to get 1 point if you can name the arc, 1 point if you can name the approximate part of the arc, and a 3rd point if you can name the real episode title. We're going to go with Ed,
That
Steve,
third point-
Alex.
Wow.
That 3rd point is very hard to get.
Yes. We're going to do best to 5, so this could be over pretty quick. It's going to go Ed, Steve, Alex, Joe, and then Sam. If you don't get it, it's going to be a jump ball, so anyone who might know the answer can get it. So, Ed, pick a number. Then let me go through my index cards.
522.
Okay, give me a minute here. 522. Do I have 522? I have 522. Here we go. Let's see what this. I'm trying to find what we. Okay, so there's the real one. So
Zach probably bought an extra Viva card binder for this.
I should have. Oh my god! Good. If only stores were open. First one here. So here are the alternate titles: More Bubble Than Man, Mary Juice, King Blobfish, Model Lamb Chop, Chopper Shot First. It's from the Bible.
He's oh god, more bubble than man. That's more bubble than man. Like, is that? I have no idea. Is that like the Reverie? Is that the Reverie episode?
Yes, it is Reverie.
Okay. Yeah. So this is when like Shirahoshi got taken down by the Celestial Dragon?
I'm trying to remember. It might be. I'm not sure. I don't think it is.
Not a very long arc.
No, that's the thing.
Everything's pretty close.
Do you want to try and guess the real episode title?
It was. I don't know. Was it Burger Ham Lincoln?
No. Anyone here? There's not a ton, so this is one you could actually guess.
How many points do I get? 1?
You get. I'm gonna give you 1 because I think the one you're thinking.
Can you go through the other ones again?
Yeah, More Bubble Than Man, Mary Juice spelt, Mary Joie spelt wrong. King Blobfish, Model Lamb Chop.
Oh, wait a second. This is when when they're all sitting around the table and they get it's not an Oda box, but it's like an unofficial Oda misspelling of Mary Joa. Isn't it?
Kind of. You're half right. You're also half wrong, though. Chopper Shot First. It's from the Bible, or Shibboleth was the other title there.
So let's see. That's Well, Ed, you almost have it because the fake Oda box is for Levelly. Mary Juiz is the chapter where you see the slaves are powering the People Mover.
Correct.
Right. After lunch, I get to whip you, right?
That's the one. So anyone have the actual episode title? I'm going to give Alex a point there too. I'll give it if no one does.
I don't remember that one.
The actual title is "It's a Hat on a Hat." So it's that chapter.
That chapter. Yeah.
Steve, pick a number. 380 is the lowest. Actually, I have a few
380.
others. I actually could go from 361. So do you still want to? I'm sorry, 362. Do you want to go 380?
I'll just stick with it.
Oh no, we did.
380.
We actually did 380 before. I think last time.
Pick a
because I
different one
remember
then,
reading
Zach.
these.
361.
All right.
361. It's 362. Sorry, because I meant 362 was the first. Okay. We did this one too. Believe it or fucking not, because you were probably picking the lowest one.
Pick a new one then. Just go to the next one.
Okay, I'll go to the next one. 365 is the next one I have, and these are good ones here. Where is the real one though? Which one of these was the real one? I have to look. Let me look this one up.
Nerd.
Why am I a nerd? Well, besides all the real reasons.
I guess it would be nerdier if you remembered it, but
yeah,
All those things I said.
All right, all these. Okay, so that was the title. Wow, I thought that was not the title. So here are the episode titles. May You Grow Larger. Make That Penis Pop. Eric Stoltz One Piece Lady.
what?
Oh.
Michael and Hoikel, Best Friends Forever. Big Mama's House. And the Magic Booby
Hoikel.
Crew. So,
Okay.
Steve.
What was the first one again?
May You Grow Larger. And then I said way too loudly with my mother-in-law in the house, make that penis pop.
I can't wait for you to explain that to her later.
Oh, it was an old
but
episode
Big-
title.
God, but Big Mom was a character too, because what it was. So what are my options? Naming like the arc, the actual episode title,
And like
this one's hard because it's I'll explain after. Yeah.
I'm
This
just
one's
gonna go with my
difficult.
gut.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with my gut. Is it Dressrosa during the fight with Bartolomeo and Mr. Anime?
I am going to give that to you. And the reason I'm going to give that to you is because this was a recap of volume 77 and there was no manga that week. Which I did not realize when I asked the question. But you're correct.
Interesting.
Volume 77 does include that. Now, do you want to guess the real title? And it is a great title.
Oh, it's I forget what the pun is, but it's
not really a pun. But does anyone want to guess? I give a
it's
huge
still-
hint. You could
it's-
actually get this. Go ahead.
It's
3 seconds.
God.
Just say
Don
something.
Quixote, Dofla Panda Man.
Wait,
Ooh,
Donkey
you're-
Panda Man Flamingo?
Donkey,
Ed gets it.
yeah,
Ed steals that
Damn
one.
it.
That point.
Wait, that was
Yeah.
that was the answer?
That's the title. That's the title.
yeah.
That's right, because he was on the inside cover. That's right.
Yeah, that's why. The picture
Yeah,
is of him.
I think I came up with that one, so I remember exactly how it goes.
Oh, okay. Alex,
I
pick a
knew
number.
everything but just the really bad title.
The other choice for that, by the way,
Steve has 2, I have 2,
you have
Alex
2,
has 1.
Alex has 1. By the way, the other choice for that was Donkey Panda Man Flamingo.
That was the
So-
actual episode title.
No, Donkey Panda Man Flamingo. I wrote it
Oh,
Don
okay. Got it.
Donkey with a QUI, like spelt like
All
with
right.
the panda. In it. Anyway, go ahead.
Right.
It's not a good title.
I love that title.
What are the
It's
numbers?
fun. Anything above 365 and up.
Okay. 592.
592. See if I have this anywhere. I should have kept this in a better order here. 592. Why do I have so many pads?
I assumed you'd put these in order before
I
we
know it
start.
No, it's just once it gets into the 500s, I have them. I start writing them on pads instead of index cards. If you must know, 592 I don't have any, but 590 probably was an off week. 593 I will give to you.
Sure.
I'm just trying to find what the actual title was. Which one was this? Oh, I think that's what we went with. Okay. Here we go. The name of this era is Beigebeard. Get to the chopper. I have no son. Commodore Not So New. Kin Solo or Kanji Club. It gets really obvious after these. Do you want to try and guess? I could keep going though.
Can you read those again, just for fun?
The name of this era is Beigebeard. Get to the chopper. I have no son. Commodore Not So New. And Kin Solo or Kanji Club. Those are the two.
Kanji Club.
It gets way more obvious after these.
I never made a deal with Kanji Club. Do one more.
Okay. Those East Blue Feet.
Oh.
I have 3 more after this. I'm sorry. I have 4 more after this. So.
Those East Blue Feet. Yeah, do another one.
Odin eating Odin.
Okay. It's the chapter where Denjiro first shows up.
Yes.
Yeah, because that was the one big giveaway. During the Odin flashback, obviously.
So what was the name of the
actual episode that we used? Fuck. And that wasn't that long ago either. That was like
593 it's not that long ago. I mean, the world was different at the time, but yes.
Yeah, it seems like forever.
I know.
God. Let's see. Is it? God.
Sorry.
Why don't you read the rest of them?
Okay. Odin eating Odin, deep dish Odin, Shimotsuke me crazy. And I just have it's a really great one. And Lauder, I don't remember what that is a reference to.
Shimotsuke me crazy. Oh
Which is what we should have went with, retrospect here.
God. I don't remember.
That is a good title. I like this
for the
title.
life of me.
All right, any jump ball? Anyone?
Isn't it have to do with like Florida Man or something?
That is. Joe gets the point.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's right. It was Florida Man.
That's a good jump ball.
Can I get any bonus points for the episode image?
No. Maddie did that episode image, but you want to guess it?
Can I take a... Yeah, it's the helicopter pad hair, right?
Yes, it is the helicopter pad hair.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm not giving you a point for that.
No, but because I remember. Yeah, she was here. She was we recorded together. I remember that weird setup.
So Alex has 3, Steve and I have 2, and Joe has 1 now.
Correct, and Sam has 0.
Well,
Joe,
Sam's
yours
turn.
to pick. No, it's
Joe's turn.
Joe's turn. Never mind.
600.
600. Okay. That should be easy because that was a pretty big. Oh, I know off the top of my head what that one was. Okay. Here we go. So you can probably guess what arc this was. Anyway, white bread, Diamond Jozu Quimby, that little chicken meatball is your future king. Don't remember that reference. We have a lot. I have a ton of freaking So why do you repeat that? That was a great title, and I'm sad we didn't go with that. But okay, let's not get all Star Wars prequel.
What does that even mean?
I remember what that means.
I remember that. Yeah.
Forgets you too, or forgets about it. And then the episode title. I have more here. Wow, there's a lot. There's 2 pages, I'll put it that way. The Clone Saga. Begun the Clone Wars have.
Oh, I know this one.
I know this one. Yeah.
The best around. He's like a brother to me. And the Going Maji. And I drew
that was me.
I drew a picture of the mast pen with our Jolly Roger going into a ship with Poochie's figurehead on the front. So Joe, would you like to give us your answers there?
It's in Wano during the Odin flashback.
Yeah.
And
do you know when during the Odin flashback?
It's when Orochi meets the old woman who had long fish food.
Yep. And what's the real
title? Was like Aunt Clay or something like
Correct.
that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Joe is now in the lead, 4-3 to 2-2-0. So Sam.
But now it's Sam's turn.
Now it's Sam's.
550.
5. Oh, is this in this book too? You start getting
That
more
was
and
the
more like
thing.
all over the place.
I mean,
So go
this
ahead.
is like I don't want to be a party pooper. I'm just starting to think maybe we should hold off on doing episodes from like the last year because I realize how easy it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need.
Oh my God.
Sometimes you need a crush.
I know I wouldn't get a point otherwise.
Yeah, because I wouldn't get it
Yeah.
otherwise. I don't think.
Oh, here we go. 554. I'm gonna give you 554. What the hell? Oh, that's the title. Oh, this is a tough one though. I'm gonna give you 555. No, I'm gonna be nice because that wasn't what you chose anyway. 555. Okay, here's a good one. Transforming is half the battle. The greatest battle never seen. Nerd law. Black. What the hell does that say? Black long.
I think I know this one.
Yeah, I know you do. Black long Sanji. I don't know if that's. I can't really read what I wrote on that one, but
Is this
What?
Soba Mask?
yeah, good job. And
You
what did we
realize-
actually go with, Sam?
Oh, Sanji's Cool Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
3
All right,
points.
Ed, it's back to you. Its score is 2 Ed, 2 for Steve, 3 for Alex, 4 for Joe. She's 1 away, and Sam has 3. Ed.
Give me the 411.
Jesus Christ, Ed.
You're old.
Sure, Dad.
He's hip. He's cool. He's 40. Or is it 45? I forget.
I think he's just
45,
40.
I
Yeah.
think.
I've used that GIF like in the last week or so.
All right, let me find this thing. 4.
All right, what's 411?
I'm trying to find it still. I was
Okay.
much better with these. Oh, here. Wait. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go with 412. Oh, no, you're never gonna get this though.
Whatever.
So wait, 4. Let's go with. I need to find. You see, I don't remember the actual title for this. So give me
Just
one
look it up
second.
in your phone.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm looking it up. Episode 410 is what I'm going with here.
Okay.
You are not going to get this episode title. I'll tell you that.
This
Okay,
is
here we go.
It'd be fun either way. All right.
It's a good title though. The Wano Rebellion, the Sanji situation, Heavens to Meteoroid, sorry, and Nami's got Opai. This is a tough one.
Let's see. So this is when Big Mom's ship confronts the fleeing Straw Hats.
No.
No? Okay.
No. Any jump
But,
ball?
but it is Dressrosa, though. It is Dressrosa.
No.
No? All right. Well, whatever.
Can we go
Jump
through these
ball.
again?
Yeah.
The Wano Rebellion, the Sanji situation, Heavens to Meteoroid.
It's Zoe, right?
Nami's got Opai. Sam is right and gets a point. It is
Damn
Zoe. Does
Heavens to
anyone else want to say when in Zoe? What was happening?
I think it
It was Sanji's like note. It's like be back later.
Gotta see about him.
That
Is
might
it the
be
one
right.
where like Nami's crying, like hugging Luffy, and she's like, "Oh, something happened to Sanji," but we don't know what.
No. I don't think so.
Heavens to
Can
Meteoroid
you go-
leads me to believe that Fujitora is involved in this episode in some way.
Yeah, I don't know where the hell that episode title came from. Might be my hint to you. No fucking idea.
Could have been a piece together.
What are the discarded episode titles again?
The Wano Rebellion, the Sanji situation, Heavens to Meteoroid, and Nami's got Opai.
Ooh, this one's tough.
This one's hard. This is tough.
Yeah.
This is a legit. The action.
I have no idea.
Yeah, you wanna give it a shot?
Is it Zoe during like when we find Rizo?
Yeah, I'm gonna give that to you. I'm gonna
I don't
give
know.
the actual title was Party Animals. which is I don't remember that title. And it was
just
the
about
chapter right before we find out the big red poneglyph. So you're basically right. I believe so. Okay. So it's either that or the one where they're like, I'm gonna go against Big Mom and the lasagna one. Anyway,
Sam got a point. There.
Right, Steve.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. 5 what?
Okay. 595.
All right. We get that?
Oh, why did I do that?
I don't know.
It's not interesting. Can I pick another one?
420.
You weren't on this episode, so if you still want me to do it, I can. Do you want to do something later or earlier, Steve?
Yeah, let's do something earlier.
Okay, what do you want?
Just throw me anything.
All right, let's randomly pick. Let's pick. Random, 443. Oh my god. Wait, what was the actual title? Right, okay, I have to look because I don't remember any of these. Episode 443 is... Wow, I don't remember that. Was this about a chapter? Yeah, it was. Okay, here we go. Here are the titles. Barack Obama. Shaking in his roots. The Dickhole Brothers. Neck Tuck.
The what? The
Dickhole Brothers. You heard me. I said
that's what I thought you said.
I said the Dickhole Brothers. Neck Tuck. Pancake Lady Snowblood. Will you go to prom with me? Soulbot, and I'm not going to say the last one because that will give it away probably. So I'll leave it there for now.
This is.
It's I know it's focused around King Bomb. Shaking in his roots.
Yeah, you're correct. You're correct. So I'm going to give you at least a point.
I'm trying to think of what exact moment it is. Can I get the episode titles again?
Barack Obama, shaking in his roots. The Dickhole Brothers.
I just want to hear them say that again.
The Dickhole Brothers. Neck Tuck. Pancake Lady Snowblood. Will you go to prom with me? And Soulbot. And I'll wait to give the last one, but go ahead.
Ooh, wow. Now I'm kind of confused here. I'm going to go with my gut, though. Is this like Luffy's kind of stand against like a bunch of like the Charlotte family?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you another point.
So are the Dickhole brothers like Opera's brothers?
No, I'm assuming they're referring to Germa.
Well, Pancake Lady Snowblood is Amand. I know that because I think
that sounds like it definitely sounds like an Alex. The other title was Syrup Rain, but what was the Syrup Rain? Yeah. I think it was right after Prince died.
Oh man.
So
no. This was in like the fall, I think.
This was November 8th, 2016. Oh my god. This is on election day, 2016.
That can't be right. That was a Tuesday.
Yeah, it was probably posted a little late or something.
For me, it was Tuesday.
Ooh, what was the episode title here?
You're not going to get this because I didn't remember this. 3 seconds. The answer.
Last Stand.
The answer is literally Robinitis.
Huh.
Oh, is this the... No, never mind.
Okay.
So what's the scores now?
It's freaking close. Ed has 3, Steve has 4, Alex has 3, Joe has 4, Sam has 4. Alex
next one
with 3 points. Yeah, it's gonna end sooner or later, probably sooner.
Probably on this one, yeah.
Pick a number.
2 hours later.
I'm gonna pick number. Why don't you pick a number for me, Zach?
Okay, let's randomly go through this deck. This seems appropriate. Episode 487.
Okay.
Everyone has their moment. Gronking the Ship, Big Mom's Mouth, Amanda Hug and Kiss, Take on Me, and Young.
What on me?
You know what?
Take
I think
on
I may
me?
have.
Is that what it said?
No, I might have already said the episode because I didn't realize that this was a send up of another episode title. Let me just make sure because I may have already said it. I've already said the episode title. So I'm going to do a different one. The answer was Amanda Hug and Kiss. We went with Charlotte Amand Hug and Kiss. I thought it was Glub Glurb Blob Blorp, which I did not realize was not Goop Troop.
I remember what the
Blorp.
episode image was.
Yeah, it was Mo with the giant hat.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to pick another one for you, though. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Which one of these? Okay, I think that's the answer. But I'm going to double check this time so I don't fuck up again. Episode 509 is what we're going with here. I was correct. There's a lot of alternate titles here. Yearly Shonen Run, ... and the rest. That's the second of them. Raisin, Minister of Splainin'. Restin' Glee Face. Steamed Luffy. 2 Scoops of Morgans. The Long Goodbye. The Bottomful Pit. It's a really good one. Ray Mistems. Mystery Savior Theater 3000.
Oh, okay. I know where we are.
Real Husbands of the Arc that we're in. And Charlotte Kobayashi, Minister of Hot Dogs.
Okay, well, it's Ray Mistems gives it away. It's when Peckham saves Luffy using his luchador. It's in Whole Cake Island, using his luchador mask. Mistems instead of Peckham's, and it was a Rey Mysterio Jr. joke. The actual episode title. Do you remember when this? Do you remember when this was specifically?
He's already won, but he can get the extra point.
No. Did you say when exactly in Whole Cake Island it was?
Yes, it's when right before they're about to come out of the mirror, or like when they do come out of the mirror.
You were right. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was trickier than it ended up being. Okay, but you got it.
Centers around Peckham's.
You want to guess the actual title?
Oh man, I
did not know this title was so late. I thought we did this earlier.
I feel like I know what the image looks like. I can see it in my head.
No, you can't. No, you can't. Maybe you can.
I know every pilot in the world. God.
Okay. Anyone? Jump ball?
Don't know.
No.
I forget everything.
He's already won. He's already won.
He's already won. Mont Dork.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah. I knew you didn't know.
Like we've been calling him that for a long time.
Yeah, for whatever reason, that was the episode that we did it. But my favorite part is that episode has the image of Dignity with Katakuri with a hat on his mouth and Van Houten pointing at it. Dignity. Anyway, all of the episodes we did today are really good ones. The one, the Literally Robinitis was the one we had ACH on for. And that one we just did is when Casey, that was the last episode Casey was on before he came back kind of recently. Anyway, that's going to do it. We're going to be back next week with our Volume 96 recap and our One Piece Stampede live commentary on Patreon. So check that out. We might give a little bit of a preview of that on the main feed, but the whole thing will only be on Patreon. So please subscribe there. That's going to do it, though. My name is Zach.
My name is Ed.
My name is Steve.
And my name is Alex.
We'll see you next week, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.